Àbọṣíṣẹ, Àbọrú, Àbọyè, Àbọṣíṣẹ. Welcome to another episode of Àṣẹ for today. Mushi Àbọrú, Àbọyè, Àbọṣíṣẹ. Grand rising and welcome to another episode of Àṣẹ. Grand rising and welcome to episode of Àṣẹ. As you join in, let me know where you're streaming from today. Let me know where you're joining us from today. Bulletin Bowale New. Grand rising and welcome to another episode of Àṣẹ for today. Talk and do. Ekaaro Eko Ojúmọ́. Afoli, it's been a while. Ojú tó rí yín gbó, ó tójọ́ mẹ́ta o. Grand rising and welcome to another episode of Àṣẹ for today. Ojúmọ́ ire, ojúmọ́ ayọ̀, ojúmọ́ ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà níbi gbogbo tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa. Ojúmọ́ ire, ojúmọ́ ayọ̀, ojúmọ́ ìdùnnú àti àlàáfíà níbi gbogbo tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa. A kú ọ̀sẹ̀ Jàkúta, a kú ọ̀sẹ̀ Ṣàngó lénìí o. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, a ní kọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà ọ́. Kọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà ọ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ Àbọyè. Grand rising and welcome to another episode of Àṣẹ for today. Let me know where you're streaming from today. This is Ifá College, where we learn the undiluted, unwatered down truth about Ifá, about ÌṢÄШE, about African culture, African spirituality, about the identity of who we are, and helping us to reconnect to our roots, to our source, to our foundation, helping us to reconnect back to ourselves, who we truly are. Welcome to another episode of Àṣẹ for today. Every morning like this, 6 a.m. Nigerian time, 5 a.m. for those of you on the 5 a.m. for those of you on the GMT, and 12 midnight for those on EST. We gather here for another episode, a new episode life, the manual that Elédùmarè has given to us about this life, about the fulfillment of this life. That's what we learn at the Ifá College. The manual of Elédùmarè, the divine and supreme being, is the one that created the earth and everything in it. What are the breakdown of life for which we are supposed to live this life? That is exactly what we do on Àṣẹ for today. Check. Please don't send in your heart's meat. Let's wait and see what the flash goal is. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you that was here yesterday, what did we talk on yesterday? What was the lesson that Ifá gave to us yesterday? For those of us that joined us yesterday, for those of you that were here yesterday, what was our topic on Àṣẹ for today? Yesterday was episode 22 of Àṣẹ for today, and today is episode 23 of Àṣẹ for today. Is today episode 23 or 24? Those of you on the global Ifá community, are we on episode 23 or 24? Please confirm. And what was the topic for yesterday? What was the topic for yesterday? What was the topic for yesterday? Kí la gbé yẹ̀wò lánàá? Okay, we talked about character, yes, but what was the topic? Character was one of the things. Ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́ was one of the things that we mentioned. But what was the topic of that teaching itself yesterday? Yesterday we learned about what?
Ifá the balanced life.
Move closer. Yesterday we learned about what?
Ifá the balanced life.
We learned about Ifá the balanced life. We started on Sunday, Ifá the balanced life. We had the first part. Yesterday we had the second part, and today we are going to have the final part of that teaching, Ifá the balanced life. How are we able to balance our life using the knowledge of Ifá, using the teachings of Ifá? That is what we will be talking about today. Who is there to check on that one? That is what we will be teaching about today, Ifá the balanced life. Honey, grand rising and welcome to today. D, thank you so much for your comment. So today we are on episode 23 of Àṣẹ for today. Eshe Goni Adupe. We've talked about balance in different forms that it comes, and Just yesterday, I had a test of that balance that we're talking about. I experienced it, and these are things that will come up, and then we would have to recall the things that we have learned. We would have to recall the teachings that we have learned to see if we are able to apply it. You know, I told you that. That's why I said somebody has to be there. You know, I told you that more than is more as you gain momentum on this path, a lot of information will be open to you. A lot of information will be open to you, particularly if you are learning to become a priest or priestess. Oníṣègùn, Babalawo, Iyanifa, Babalorisha, in whatever right that you are. Even if you are just learning to become a devotee, stay there. Even if you are just learning, just to, gain knowledge about experience of life in Ifa and how to apply it, certain knowledge will be open to you. Please don't send in your heart me for the day yet. Let's see what our flash goal is. Certain knowledge and information will be open to you. And a time will come in your life where you will have to place a balance between the things that you know that you can do and the things that you are actually allowed to do. Let me explain it to you. You have come to Ifa College. Every day you are picking knowledge. And there was a whole teaching or several teachings where we talked about àwọn Yami, our Egbe, our Ori. I've taught you the role that àwọn Yami play. I've taught you how you are able to activate them, how you can speak to them. There was a certain day we were having a live streaming. Iyanifa Ewa was here when I mentioned that a situation happened, and I went outside to make some iwure and to do some invocation at 1 o'clock. And she responded in the comment section. She said, the moment I heard 1 o'clock, I know that was it. Now, there are certain informations that we will get. And then certain things will happen to us in life. And in that moment, we have to balance between what we know that we are able to do, what we have the capacity to do based on the knowledge that we have gotten in Ifa, and what we are actually going to do to balance between that physical and spiritual life. Just yesterday, I think even the better part of yesterday, it was as if yesterday came to me like, okay, you taught people about balance. Let's see how well you are able to balance your own life. Several activities yesterday, including something very sensitive, happened yesterday, and I looked at the situation like, if not that I have received wisdom in Ifa on how to balance things, this person or these people are sitting down somewhere thinking that, oh, we have won, oh, we can do this, oh, we can do that. Shebi it is Ewa, she's not going to say anything. In fact, my partner said yesterday that I think these people are doing this because they know they can constantly have access to you. Shebi it is you. You cannot get upset, you cannot be pained. No matter what they do, they will always have to come back. And I told him yesterday, I said, no. These people have experienced me in a way where I decided to remove the line. You know when they say you draw the line? I decided to remove the line and go all the way to show them who I am and what I have the capacity to do. They've seen me in that situation. And this person had to call out to another elder spiritualist to say, please come and calm this woman down. It looks like this thing is going to blow. So I told him, I said, they've seen it, they know. They know that there is certain knowledge we have acquired on this journey, and there are certain things we can do with it, but we are trying to balance it to make sure that we are not too high in the spiritual and too low in the physical. We are trying to balance it. Now, these are circumstances and scenarios where life is going to happen. Everyday life will keep happening. This is the difference between religion and practicing Ifa in the real sense of it. These things will come and you will look at yourself and tell yourself that I need to put a balance. Where do I find the balance so that I am not too much to this side or too much to this side? And I picked up my phone and I called the people involved. I said, just in case you have forgotten, let me remind you, this is who I am. And this is the capacity of what I can do. And it's not going to cost me anything to do it. But I need to remind you that me choosing to be this way, choosing to just look at you like this and let you display all your lack of sense, is not because we don't know what to do. I need you to know that this and this and this and this is what I can do, and I can do it now within this second without moving from where I am. You know, there are certain things in life that will have you call people to order. The fact that I'm not blowing up does not mean I'm just trying to maintain balance. It doesn't have anything to do with I want to be like Christ, I want to make heaven. We have been called to put balance in life, and we are going to do it. So as you learn these words, I said all of that to say that as you pick these words, as we learn, that is one of the major ìwúres that I make when we are about to start. Gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń kọ́ yìí kó má gbé tí ọ̀tún wọlé, kó gba tòsì jáde. Meaning that everything we are learning, may it not go in through one ear and come out through the other ear. The whole essence of you waking up in the morning like this, delving into one Ifá every day, listening to teaching in a language that is not originally yours, that you were not originally raised with, spending hours, clicking on your screen, supporting the live streaming, doing this and doing that, is so that you will gain knowledge that will equip you on the journey of your life, so that when it actually happens, you can bring out that knowledge, apply it, and get a balanced, good quality life. I've said it before a million times, I will say it again. There is no essence in Ifá that you are learning and you cannot apply it to your life. And you cannot come back at the end of the day and say, I made better choices. I'm in a better place right now because I chose to apply the principles that Ifá taught me. Because I'm able to apply the principles that Iyanifa Ewa taught me. Because I'm able to apply the principles of the Odù that I read. If you have not come to that point where you can glaringly say it, where people around you can look at you and say, I can see the difference, I know. And I'm talking real life situation, not trying to be moral or something. If you haven't come to that point, you still need to allow these words to soak in. Ifá presents to us a balanced life. Ifá demands from us a balanced life. Our existence in this universe, the peace, the love, the joy, the abundance, the growth that we are going to get from our existence in this universe depends largely on how we are able to balance it. Ifá did not promise us a perfect life. There is no such thing in this side of life as perfect. Ifá gives us a balanced life. And when you are able to balance both sides, that is when you can speak of you enjoying some level of what life describes as perfection or not. That's the only time you can. So as we are picking these words, as you watch this live streaming, go back and catch a replay of it. Go back and catch a replay of it. Remind yourself what Ifá is saying. Our flash goal on TikTok is a heart me. That's why I said you shouldn't send in your heart me yet, because we don't know what the flash goal is going to be. We need 11 people to send in their heart me for the day. 11 people to send in their heart me for the day. 11 people to send in their heart me. We have 3 people. We need 8 more people. 4 people now. 5 people now. Mena Eshegon, indeed, thank you. Honey, thank you for that. Who else is sending in their heart me? We need 6 more people. So we are going to continue on our teaching on Ifá, the balanced life. Call your sister. We're going to continue our teaching on Ifá, the balanced life. No, favor. Okay, she's there. All right. Eshegoni Adupe. Before we delve into our teaching for today, please send in your hearts me. Let everybody send in their hearts me. Send in your hearts me for the day. Before we delve into our teaching, what do we start with? What is the first thing that we start with? What is the first thing that we start with? Turn it to my face. Let me see. Okay. What's the first thing that we start with before we delve into our teaching? Where can I get this Ifa neck bead in Canada? If you have, first of all, this is not an Ifa bead. This is not an Ifa bead. But if you need an Ifa bead, you will have to go through the process to get it. You know, it's like somebody is asking, where can I get a US passport, or how can I get a Nigerian passport? Yes, that's the identity of Ifa devotees. It's like the passport that the citizen of a country holds. You can only get it after you have gone through the rites of citizenship, the rites of naturalization. That is the only time you can get it. So if you have gone through that process, whoever it is that takes you or that took you through that process will hand the beads over to you at the time of completion of your citizenship into Ifa. I hope that makes sense. What do we do? Okay, so we're about to start. What is the first thing? Bring the screen on. You have done Ifa already. Hey, if you have done Ifa already, please don't type your Odù Ifá in the comment section. I've said that a million times. That's your Odù Ifá is the entire blueprint of your life. Trust me, you don't want to type it in a public place. That's your life DNA. That is the DNA of your entire life. So if you have done your Itefa before, I want to tefa fún yín, ṣé wọ́n fún yín ní Ide Ifá ni? Wọ́n fún yín ní Lẹ̀kẹ̀ Ifá ni? Because the Ifa beads is not just a, how do I put it? It's not just a fancy or a casual jewelry, okay? It's not just a fancy or a casual jewelry that I'll just say walk into a store and pick it. Now, anybody can walk into a store and make a green and brown beads. That's just regular. But for those of you that have done your Itefa, quote and unquote, you have become citizens of Ifa, you are supposed to get it from the right source. So if your Babalawo or your Iyanifa that did your Itefa for you is still on this side of life and you can communicate with them, please reach out to them to help you arrange another one, because I assume they must have given you one before. They must have given you one before. So to help you arrange another one. Or if you cannot get in touch with them, maybe they are no longer on this side of life, or you can no longer communicate with them, then you can reach out to me via WhatsApp, and then there are certain questions I will ask you before we can prepare the Ifa beads for you. Thank you so much. Our flash goal for today on TikTok has been achieved. Eshegoni. For everybody that sent in their hearts, me, Elédùmarè, Ajé will stay with you. Ajé will multiply with you. Ajé abusi fún yín ní gbogbo ọ̀nà. Elédùmarè. Ashe. So we are about to go into our class. What is the first thing that we do? Àti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò. We are now going to commence the teaching of today, which is the final part of Ifa, the balanced life. So what is the first thing that we do? Come, move closer. Come to this side. Come like that and stay here. I want everybody to hear your voice. Come this way. You step out from the high a little bit. Yeah, move to this part of the phone.
Our Iba.
What's the first thing that we do? Say it loud.
Our Iba.
Our Iba. Our Iba. Oh yeah, clap for yourself. Our Iba. Iba is the first thing that we do. Iba is how we pay homage, how we recognize the powers and the authority that have gone ahead of us. Iba is how we take care of the hierarchy that is ahead, the hierarchy that exists ahead of us. And we start by making Iba to Olódùmarè. Olódùmarè is the highest point of that hierarchy. Olódùmarè is the highest point of that hierarchy, and we have several other spiritual bodies in between before we get to our Awo. Our Awo is fellow practitioners of Ifa here and there all over the world. We also pay homage to them. We respect the authority that they carry. We respect the knowledge and the powers that comes with them, and we recognize it. Now, paying homage is not just being respectful. In the order of spirituality, it opens the door for us to access every other spiritual thing. That is why Yoruba will say, Adashe ni humo, iba ogbodo humo eniyan. Adashe means you have decided to go and do your things on your own without recognizing the hierarchy that is ahead of you. Yorùbá dẹ̀ sọ pé ó máa hùn yàn, it's going to end in failure. Whatever it is you do without making iba, this is the end of that thing. It's going like this. It's going to take a southward spiral eventually. Yorùbá also says ẹni tó bá wọlé tó bá júbà òun ló máa roko dalẹ̀. Whoever it is that comes in and makes iba and acknowledges all the powers that are ahead of them, they are the ones that are going to harvest every good thing until night time. Even though it is not acceptable for anybody to stay in the farm and continue to harvest till night time, but anybody that makes iba and pays homage is allowed to harvest the good things of life till night time. That is how important iba is. It gives you access to every other spiritual thing. That is why we usually start with our iba. So Amasheba, I call the two of them to move closer so that they can hear me, so that I can hear them. Call them. But they can hear me now. I said call the two of them to move closer so that I can hear them. Akọ́dáyé àṣèbà. Àṣèbà tí wáyé ọjọ́. Àṣèbà tí wọ̀ oòrùn. Elédùmarè ọba tẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Òrán ọmọ níṣẹ́ fàyà tí àṣèbà. Ọba lánàá, ọba lẹ́nu, ọba títí ayérayé àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Kábíyèsí a lè ṣe lè wí, a lè wí lè ṣe, kábíyèsí ọba tí ń fọba jẹ. Ọba tó jókòó sórí ìtẹ́ tó fi gbogbo àgbáláyé yìí ṣe àpótí ìtìsẹ̀ rẹ̀ àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Àṣèbà wọn tó tẹ̀ ká tó tẹ̀, àṣèbà wọn tó ṣawo ká tó ṣawo, àṣèbà bàbá, àṣèbà ìyá, àṣèbà ọmọdé, àṣèbà àgbàlagbà. Lórígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáláyé níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń gbọ́ mi, mo ṣèbà orí yín, mo ṣèbà ẹlẹ́dàá yín, mo ṣèbà ìṣẹ̀dá yín, mo ní kíbà mi ṣẹ o. Ajagunmalé olúwo òde ọ̀run àṣèbà, olúbíkin ọ̀sanyìnbíkin àṣèbà. Àṣèbà gbogbo agbára tó solé ayé ró, àṣèbà gbogbo agbára tó ṣílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ ìní, àṣèbà gbogbo agbára tó ní kí ayé máa bẹ, tó ní kí ìgbà máa wà, àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Àṣèbà àwọn tó dá wa lóṣù, àwọn tó là wá lórí, àwọn tó ní ká máa ṣawo, àwọn tó tẹ̀lú yìí ìjó, àwọn tó ṣe awo kù sẹ́yìn, àwọn tó fi ara ẹ̀mí àti ọkàn wọn jà fúnfá, tó gbélẹ̀ fáwa tó ní ká máa ṣe àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ọ̀pàkẹ́ àlàkẹ́, ẹ̀yin alágogo idẹ, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ọ̀sá ẹlẹ́yẹ, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi òṣèrò wọ̀nìgà, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè gbélé ayé lé lọ́wọ́, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi abiyamọ ayé, abiyamọ ọ̀run, abiyamọ ọlọ́jà gbọ̀rọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ ògbọ́kún ẹmọ ẹ̀ka tí wéré, ẹ̀yin atẹ̀dọ̀jòrò òró, ẹ̀yin àti ìfúnjẹ̀dọ̀, ẹ̀yin apanimáyọ̀dà, ẹ̀yin olókìkí òru, ẹ̀yin ọlọ́mú kan tí ń fún gba ọmọ ọlọ́mú, ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kan tí ń bẹ́lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì jà, ẹ̀yin arógbaṣọ má bòtán arógbaṣọ má balẹ̀, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi àṣèbà 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 aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Ẹ̀yọ́nú yín la béèrè fún ọ̀sá méjì àpèyín fúnkù àpèyín fárùn. Ẹ̀yọ́nú yín la béèrè fún lórí ọkọ, lórí aya, lórí ọmọ, lórí ẹbí, lórí ará, lórí iṣẹ́, lórí gbogbo nǹkan ká dúró ṣe nílé ayé yìí. Àníkẹ́ wá fàyè gbà wá kẹ́ ẹ yọ́nú sí wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣèbà gbogbo òrìṣà àti irúnmọlẹ̀ tó dilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjíire mú. Èní lọ̀sẹ̀ jàkúta, èní lọ̀sẹ̀ ṣàngó, ọ̀sẹ̀ ọya, ọ̀sẹ̀ ọba àti gbogbo àwọn òrìṣà tá à ń ṣọ̀sẹ̀ fún lẹ́yìn. Aníkọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà kó má dà sí wa lára ọ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo ibi tá a ti ń pe Ifá, gbogbo ibi tá a ti ń pọ̀ Ọ̀rúnmìlà, gbogbo ibi tá a ti ń pò òrìṣà, tá a ti ń pe irúnmọlẹ̀, gbogbo ibi tá a ti ń gbẹ́bọ fésù, gbogbo ibi tá a ti ń gbẹ́bọ fáwọn òrìṣà, àníkọ́ gbẹ́bọ wa, kẹ́bọ fín, kẹ́bọ dà, kẹ́bọ dòdì ọ̀run láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ Ifá orí mi rèé o, àṣẹ èèpà Ifá o, Ifá olókun asọ̀rọ̀ dayọ̀, Ifá ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín, Ifá torí ẹni tí ò sí wọn ṣe, Ifá ọmọ ẹnu Olódùmarè, Ifá afinimọ̀nà ọmọ aráyé àṣèbà àṣèbà, àní kó wá bá wa tún orí wa ṣe níbi tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó sí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe lásán, ká má wáyé asán, ká má ṣe lásán nílé ayé yìí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwa ní gbogbo ibi tá a kọjú sí, kí gbogbo ire, gbogbo ọlá, gbogbo ọlà kó jẹ́ tiwa o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ̀kọ́ Ifá mi la tún fẹ́ kọ́ lé ní báyìí. bó ṣe ń gba etí ọ̀tún jáde kó má gba bó ṣe ń gba etí ọ̀tún wọlé kó má gba tòsì jáde láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kó dénú wa báyìí kó dodindi ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o, a dúpẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa, ètò yín, ètò Ifá College lénìí, ètò àṣẹ for today lórí ìkànnì Ifá College àti ìkànnì Iyanifa Ewa lórí YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us today and welcome officially to episode 23 of Àṣẹ for Today. Call her. Welcome to episode 23 of Àṣẹ for Today, and we're having the final part of our teaching, Ifá the Balanced Life. So yesterday and Sunday, we talked about different aspects of our life where we are supposed to find a balance and place a balance. And we pointed at a couple of Odù Ifás yesterday. Who can remember one of the Odù Ifás that we made reference to yesterday? Who can remember one of the Odù Ifás? There was a particular Odù Ifá we made reference to that is associated with one of our most popular, most famous, most common, most beautiful, and most loving orishas. Ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì, mo ti mọ̀ pé ìta máa rántí náà nìyẹn. Ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì. What other Odù Ifá again? We also talked about Ejiogbe yesterday. We talked about Odù Ifá Ejiogbe yesterday. What other Odù Ifá did we mention yesterday? You know, this is how we learn it, Sha. Ba ṣe ń kọ́ nìyẹn. This is how we learn it. We also talked about Odù Ifá Ìwòrì Méjì. We mentioned Ìwòrì Méjì yesterday, and we mentioned Odù Ifá Òfun Méjì. So today we are going to be talking on 3 topics. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o, golden light. Mr. Dayo P1, ẹ ṣé gan ni. Honey, thank you so much for that. We're going to be talking about the other last part of the balancing that I have in my script here, and the balance between destiny and free will. The balance between nǹkan tó rí ẹ yàn, nǹkan tí ṣẹ̀dá ẹ yàn, àti nǹkan tó ń ìwọ alára láti ṣe. The balance between your destiny and your free will. We say, oh, we have been destined to do this. Does that mean that we don't have a free will to choose? No, that's not what Ifá says. There is a certain religion that says destiny is destiny, you cannot change it. There's a certain Abrahamic religion that holds on that. But what does Ifá say about balancing that? And then we're also going to look at the balance between our ancestors and our future. The balance between where we are coming from and where we are going to. We're also going to see the balance between community and yourself. How do you balance your interaction with other people and yourself? How do you place the scale so that you are not too community focused and then less self-focused, or you are not too self-absorbed and then zero community focused? And the final balance we're going to look at is between loss and renewal. People hardly want to go through loss, but let's see what Ifá says about how to balance, because loss and renewal is a part of life. To lose and to birth is a normal part of life, is a balance of life. It is not God that brings one and one Satan brings one. It's a balance. How do we balance it? How do we accept the loss when it happens, knowing that it is supposed to happen? How do we let go of the seeds into the soil and the ground, knowing that we are going to bury it there and we are not going to see it, and with the hope that in a matter of days or weeks or months, it's going to spring up, renewing another life? What do we do between that time when loss comes and when we are waiting for a renewal or a rebirth? And we're going to be referencing Odù Ifá, Òyẹ̀kú méjì, Òdì méjì, Òtúrá méjì, and Ògúndá méjì in the last part of this teaching. So let's dive into it by, this is going to be point number 5. Yesterday we checked out points number 1 to 4, and today we are going to point number 5, which is the balance between destiny and free will. Balance between destiny and free will. From this script, it says, this is where the philosophical depth of Ifá separates itself from every other system in this world. Odù Ifá Ògúndá méjì is the Odù Ifá for which Orisha? Odù Ifá Ògúndá méjì is the Odù Ifá for which Orisha? Orisha wo ló ní Odù Ifá Ògúndá méjì, ẹ̀yin ọmọ awo? Which Orisha owns the Odù Ifá Ògúndá méjì? Ogundameji birth with Orisha. Oya is very simple, very straightforward. Honey, thank you. Auntie Golden Light, Eshe is the Odù Ifá for Orisha Ogun, the Orisha of technology, the Orisha of war, the Orisha of metal, the Orisha of communication, and every other wonderful thing in between. Ogundameji is the Odù of Ogun, is the Odù of path, the Odù of clearing the way. It teaches that one of the most layered truths in all of Ifa, you came into this earth with an Ori, a chosen destiny, and you have Imo, knowledge and will to navigate that destiny. Simple. When you are talking about destiny, predestination, and free will in Ifa, Odù Ifá Ogundameji summarizes it. And it summarizes it like this. We chose an Ori when we were coming into this world. A lot of you have heard me recount that story. Ìgbà tá àǹtí kọ̀lé ọ̀run bọ̀ wá sítáyé, ayálé àjàlá, ìyẹn àjàlá mọ̀rímọ̀rí, ibi tá a ti yan orí, tá a ti yan òpin, tá a ti yan ṣẹ̀dá. When we were coming from ọ̀run, for lack of better words in English, let's say heaven, and we are coming to Ayé, this earth, to be born and to start the journey in this life, we stopped by at the house of one Orisha. Ajala is the name of the Orisha. He's the Orisha that molds our destiny, that molds our Ori. And all of us stop by there to shop, to pick an Ori, to pick your Eleda, to pick your destiny and the path you are going to walk in this life. And we all picked our Ori. And every Ori in the house of Ajala is labeled with one Odù Ifá or the other. 256 in different multiples. And you picked one. Your own Ori that you picked was found in Ogbeate. Your Ori was labeled Ogbeate. Just like you pick a gift that has different labels on the box. It's wrapped. Nobody really knows what is in it. But the label on it will tell you, this gift is for Mrs. Honey forever. And inside this gift is a shoe, a bag, 3 toothbrushes, 1 makeup set, 1 phone, and 1 deep freezer. So when she opens it, she finds all of that in it, and then she starts to look for the manual. Where is the manual of the deep freezer? How do I set it up? I don't need makeup. Should I go and change it? This part of the makeup, it doesn't look good. It does not look well. Now, the first question I asked, I don't know about you, when I heard the story of Ajala was that, if Ajala was an Orisha that was called to make our Ori and Eleda, why didn't he just make it perfectly? Why didn't he just make it good? Why is some people's Ori a certain kind of way and some people's Ori is a certain kind of way? Why do we come into this earth needing to fix our Ori? The person that molded the Ori was in Orun now. There is supposed to be a better, that's supposed to be a better environment. I don't know how many of you have asked your Babalawo or your Iyanifas this question, but I asked on my journey in Ifa while I was learning. And this is the answer I gathered repeatedly from the different places I went to. Wọ́n ní Àjàlá tó ń mọrí yẹn gan, ọ̀mùtí ni, onígbèsè dẹ̀ ní pẹ̀lú. Àjàlá, the Orisha that molds our destiny, was a drunkard. Ajala can drink anything. He will fall down into the gutter and stand up and fall down. And in my mind, I say, and that is the person that Elédùmarè feels that should sit down and mold our Ori. Does that not sound funny? They also said Ajala was a debtor. Ajala, he owed money. So every day he's running from his creditors, the people that are coming to ask him for money. When he sees this person that he owes, he will quickly go and hide. In the process of hiding, there are some Ori that is in the oven, that is burning already. He's supposed to have taken them out. He was owing and he was a drunkard. Imagine the two things that he combined in his life. Now, if we look at our present day life and how human life works, you will see the reflection of Ajala in the people that molded us. Now, let's think about it. When a child is going to be born into this life, you already have the spirit, and it is going to inhabit a body. And that body that spirit is going to inhabit, remember we talked yesterday about the balance between spirit and body. Pick this for me. We talked about the balance between our physical life and our spiritual life. This is our physical self and our spiritual self. Now, you see this physical self that we are trying to balance with our spiritual self, eh? To a very large extent, it is the combination of our mother and our father that created it. I hope you know that. If a child is going to live in this time of life with sickle cell anemia, if they are going to live with one genetic issue or the other, if that child is going to be tall or short or plus size or slim or fair or dark, if that child is going to be Russian or American or half caste or hybrid, is a combination of their father and their mother. You know that. Now, that is a reflection of Orisha Mori Mori Ajala in our physical life. We cannot see these Orisha we cannot see them because they are spirit being. But our mother and father that breathed us, that shapes that destiny, that breathed us in a certain environment that will continue to determine largely what the rest of our life will be. They are the representation of Ajala in our physical life. So when you look at how imperfect your parents are, and you look at the fact that Olodumare chose you to come to the world through them, you will understand how imperfect Ajala is. And Olodumare chose Ajala to mold our destiny. Yesterday we were talking about how money, was it yesterday or Sunday, how money could have affected the destiny of some people. Honey, who is Mrs. O forever, she said something. She said, she remembers herself growing up and how money would have just messed up her life. Too much of luxury. Who provided the luxury for her? Her parents. The choice of those people could have, and look at all of us today, look at you today. To a large extent, you are where you are, experiencing what you are because of the choice your parents made, because of who your father is or who your mother is or what environment you grew up in. That is a reflection of Orisha Ajala. So after we picked that Ori and we came into this life, some people are on the extreme of destiny belief, saying that, God has created everything, no, there's nothing I can do. If this is the way God wants it, that's the way God wants it. Whatever will be, will be. It doesn't matter what I do. If it's going to happen, it will happen. It is destiny. Nobody can change it. That is an extreme. Meanwhile, some people live on another extreme of that lane, saying that there is no such thing as destiny. Our life is in our hands. We can, you can do anything you want to do. Whatever happens to you is your choice. You are the one that decides and determines it. Too extreme. But those two extreme, truth be told, excuse me, truth be told, they exist side by side in this time of life. But Ifa tells us to find a balance between the two. Ifa tells us to find a balance between both destinies. Please continue to click on your share button. Click on your share button. Click on your screen. Repost as many times as you can. Share with your friends. Some of them are sleeping right now. All they need to see is a notification that, Ifa College is online, or Iyanifa Ewa is online, so that they can join us. So Ifa is asking us to find a balance between the two. Now, let's see what that balance looks like. Ifa is not fatalism. You are not a puppet, but you are also not the author of your deepest purpose. You are not a puppet in life, but you are not also the sole author of your path in life. What Ifa gives us is a balance between the two, which makes you a co-creator. The balance between a sole author, a sole creator, and a puppet that was created just to act in line with what was created is the middle part, you being a co-creator. Which is why Ifa says, two definitions of Ifa that I love. Ifa ni ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín. Ifa is the one that witnessed our destiny. Ifa will tell you what your destiny is. But then there is another name of Ifa that says Ifa ni atórí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe. So Ifa comes as, I witnessed the Ori that you picked, and I'm going to tell you what your Ori is, and this is the Ori that you picked. You cannot remember when you picked it. In fairness to you, what is the proof that you picked this Ori? Exactly. You can question it. Iyanifa, me, I don't understand what is written in this Odù. How can you say I picked this type of destiny? Why didn't I pick something else? But Ifa says that's what you picked. Ifa did not stop there to just say, we have handed you what you picked. Just go and live life like that, irrespective of how it turns out. Just go and do it. Ifa says, I am the one that fixes an Ori that is not so good. I'm the one that fixes your Ori in the parts where it is not so good. Look at the Ori that they've given you. Look at your Odù. Sit down and look at it. Now come back to me again, Ifa. Ifa says that. I've handed you your destiny. Look at it. Now come back to me again and let's have a conversation of where you need to fix. What needs to be done? Let's have the conversation. Ifa, my Odù said I have to have 25 children and 18 wives. My Odù says I can have money, I can have children, but husband is going to be difficult. My Odù said I have to stay in my home country, but me, I want to jackpot. My Odù said, for some people's Odù, I have a client who came, she should be on this live streaming. She came for her Itefa last year, and Ifa says she has to travel. There is great blessings for her if she travels out of Nigeria. My dear brethren in Ifa, this grown, beautiful woman sat down on the mat and was crying. And everybody was like, you don't cry here. Oh. They were calling me, yeah, what's wrong with your client? Why is she crying? She doesn't want to travel. She doesn't want to travel out of Nigeria. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, how is that even possible? Why would some people don't want to? And Ifa says they will. So she had to sit down that day to talk about it. Please, let me talk to my Ifa. I don't want this thing. Is there a way around it? Ifa says, come. Point out the places that needs to be changed. Let's look at it together. And let me be able to say, okay, this part is non-negotiable. This one, you have to do it. And this is the reason that you have to do it. Some of it, Ifa says, okay, we can change this part. This is a condition on which we can change it. These are the things that you need to do while we are changing it. This is here and there. Ifa still helps you to fix it. So you are not just stuck with the destiny or the Ori that Ajala, the drunkard, or Mutia ati Onigbese molded for you. So you are not just stuck in the environment where your parents that were limited raised you. You are not just disadvantaged in life based on the fact that you were born to, to a little carpenter father and a mother who doesn't, have anything to do, or you are born into the home of a mother that chose the path of drugs and a father that just chose to be gambling. Ifa says you can still fix that destiny. That is the balance. You are a co-creator in your life. Destiny can be amended. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, Ifa ló ń túnṣe. Ifa is the one that amends Ori and destiny. Níbi tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó. Ifa is the one that fixes Ori and destiny in the part that is not looking good. That is the balance that Ifa tells us. The balance is this: know your Odù, know your path, and then use all your full human intelligence and efforts alongside the instruction of Ifa to work in it powerfully. At the Ifa studies for kids, when I'm teaching the children Ifa, this is one thing that we always start with. Ifa talks about your Ori, which represents your destiny. Ifa talks about your Aya, which is your heart. Ifa talks about your Owo, which is your hands. Ifa talks about your Ese, which is your leg. And we represent it with different parts of our body so that we can relate with it. Your Ori is your destiny. You have picked that one. There's nothing you can do about that one. You are not the one that it was handed to you. But Olódùmarè created our Aya. Aya is where our heart, that is where we get to choose the people that walk on this path with us. Go and call your brother. That's where we get to choose the people that walk on this path with us, with our Aya, with our hearts. So Ifa says your heart has to be aligned and directed by Ifa so that you do not choose the wrong people to walk on this path. Your father and your mother you did not have to choose, But you see the friends, your spouse, the new partners that you are going to live life with, the new family you are going to live life with, you get to choose them with your aya. That's part of what is going to determine your destiny. Yes, honey, I am really waiting for them to trust me. A lot of people have reached out for their children. Like I said, when we started the IFA studies for kids initially, based on, you know, the level that adults are, the understanding that adults have, I had assumed that children will be coming from little things. But when we gave the teachings to kids, it's like I'm teaching children that are smaller than them. Like I'm teaching 5-year-old and it's looking like this information I'm bringing out is for an infant. So we have to restructure and look at it like the spirit of our children is more than ready to receive exactly what we are teaching, just to be able to teach them in a way that conforms with children, in a way that is child friendly. A lot of the children that we taught, they were ready. Things that we had straight on 3 weeks in the class, by the 3rd day, they were good. They could recount it in the class. So those children are their ancestors that have come back. And I apologize that I did not identify the ancestor in them when I built that curriculum. So we are revising the curriculum, we are rebuilding it, and once it's ready, we would announce and we would start off that. So the part of the body that I teach them with, that Ifa points out, our aya, I said, is for us to choose the people we will walk this life with. Irrespective of what your Ori is, irrespective of what your Odù is, if you don't choose the right friends, the right partners, the right marriage partner, the right spouses, the right business partners, the right neighbors to have in your environment, the right people to do business with, if your heart does not choose those right people, to a very large extent, that destiny might never be fulfilled. The second one is your hand, your ọwọ́. Ọwọ́ wa la fi ń ṣiṣẹ́. If Yoruba will say àtẹ́lẹ̀ ọwọ́ ẹni kò kí ń tọ́ni jẹ, the palms of your hand cannot deceive you. Ọwọ́ báyìí òun la fi ń ṣiṣẹ́. To walk that destiny into fulfillment, you need the representation of your ọwọ́ to be able to walk it. This is your own balance. This is how you are co-creating that destiny. So if you do not do the work that is required, represented quote and unquote with your ọwọ́, it's not likely that you are going to experience that beautiful destiny. And then we have our ẹsẹ̀, our legs. Ibi tí orí ń gbé wa lọ, kẹ́sẹ̀ má ṣì wá lọ́nà. Where our ori is taking us to, may our leg not walk in another direction. Our leg is that our free will and the decisions that we make. We have to make sure that our leg, our ẹsẹ̀, is constantly aligned with our ori through the directions of Idafa, constantly asking Ifa, am I still on the right path? I don't want my ẹsẹ̀ to take me to another direction from where my ori is. Some people forget that they have ori, that is another extreme. Their ẹsẹ̀ is taking them somewhere else. So all of this is what balances. That is where you get to co-create and balance this part of your life, according to Odù Ifá Ogundameji. People make 2 mistakes. First, they live as if destiny doesn't exist, chasing anything and everything with no roots in their Odù. The second mistake people make is that they live as if free will does not exist. They do nothing, they blame their worry, they blame God, they blame the devil, they blame every other thing for their stagnation, without realizing that they have a part to play. Despite the fact that there is destiny, you have a part to play. You are a co-creator. That is what Ifa says. Ogundameji says Ogun gave us the machete and the road. Use both. You have the oko and ada in your hands to clear. You have the land. Ogun has handed over to you the hoe and the cutlass. You have the land. Go ahead and plant, grow it. If you stand on that land and you carry your hoe and your cutlass like this, you carry it like this and you're going through life and you're saying, I have everything that I need to make it in life. I have the land. If you do not get to work, there's nothing that is going to come out of that land though. There is nothing that is going to come out of that land. Somebody says, I do blame a lot, but nothing is happening. Latoya, nothing is happening. You don't understand. Latoya, I've taken time to explain a lot of things to you in comment section. I've taken time to, hold on, you are shaking it. I've taken time to explain a lot of things to you in comment section about this journey of Ifa. And let me say this again for the benefit of other people who are looking at it like, I've come into Ifa, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. See, I know you, Latoya, so this is a response to you and to any other person that is in this same category. You have just started your journey in Ifa. You have just taken the first step. I don't know if you have done anything Ifa before you met me, but I've done just one Idafa for you. We have not even done Ishefa, we have not even done Idefa. I don't even know where your Odù Ifá is. I don't know what your Odù Ifá is. I don't know what your destiny and your path is. So when you say you don't know why things are working, you know what I will say to you? You don't even know anything about your life. You don't even know if what you're experiencing right now is not working or is working. You don't know. You don't know anything about your life yet. You don't have your Odù. You don't have anything yet. You have only taken your first step to say, oh, I acknowledge Ifa. Let me do my Dafa. Let me give Ebo to this Orisha, Ebo to this one. You have not, I don't want to say you have not started the journey because it will sound like every other thing you have done before now is a waste of effort. You have just started the journey. So we first of all, you see that important part where you get to find out your Odù, that important part is what you need first of all. When you do that, that is when we can now ask question of, why is this thing not working? Oh, this is the reason. See, for people that have done their Idafa here, Itefa and Ishefa here, one thing that would be, one statement that will reoccur for every one of them, a constant denominator for every one of them will be, oh, so this is why life has been happening like this. Oh, now I understand why this is. Oh, now you will have a lot of wow and oh. Ask all of them. You see the two words oh and wow. You will hear it a lot after you receive the information for your Itefa and your Ishefa, after you receive the Odù Ifá that breath you, after you find your purpose and your destiny. Oh, so this is why this is happening. Wow, so this is this. You see those two words? Oh wow, you will say it a lot. You will not, at that point, 90% of your question is not, how do I fix this? Why is this the problem? 90% of what you are going through will be, this is the reason. You will see reason. You will see it clearly. If you get that breakdown that I give to you with mixed emotions, yes, shock. So everything I've been doing, this is the reason. That's why I said that is where everybody should start from. Mena says realization will set in. Realization, that's the word. You will realize a lot of things. A lot of questions you are going around asking is because you don't know your purpose. It's because you don't know your destiny. Because you don't know your Odù. A lot of these questions you're asking, you will not have it again. There's a client that I did her Ishefa for her recently. One of the people that got the discount on the Ishefa when I did it last. She had a lot of questions to ask before Ishefa. She listed almost like 40 something questions. I gave her, we did her Ishefa, she got her Odù, we gave her the result. I asked her, do you still have any question? She said, ma, I'm still processing it. I said, if you have any question, record it and send to me. It's been 2 weeks, she still doesn't have any question. I still asked her yesterday, so what's going on? I'm waiting for your question. She said, Iyanifa, the moment I think about the question and I read that Odù again, I see the answer. The only thing I'm asking you now is, how do I move from where I am to where I am supposed to be that I can see clearly? 40 questions has now turned to one, just one, which is the question every one of us will ask. How do I now go from here to where I'm supposed to be? What is required of me? What are the steps? In fact, if you look inside the Odù, you will see it there. So please, that is usually, which is why I tell people, if you want me to work with you one-on-one, it's easier for you and I when you already have done your Ìṣẹ̀ṣe and your Itefa. It's easy. I don't need to stress myself and be gambling here and there. It's very easy. So that is where the balance comes from. So Latoya, to you and to every other person that is, in that situation, I would tell you this: trust the process. Take your time, step by step. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to have another client has reached out to me who did their Itefa, and things have went from minus to, on a scale of 0 to 100, 0 being the least and minus being the negative. The person has gone from minus to 80 in like 2 months of doing their Itefa. The person has reached out. Iyanifa, one thing I promised Ifa is that if this thing, I receive this information, I'm able to apply it and see significant, massive difference in my life, I will come back and support certain people on this journey. And you know how we do it. I would announce to you. So the person has said the moment something comes through, 3, 4, 5, 6 people we are able to support, and I will spread it over maybe like 12 people, here and there. I will let you know. So for those of you that finances is the challenge, I would announce to you, you will take advantage of it at that time. So please just trust the process. Just trust the process. Once you get hold of that blueprint in your life, you are good to go. Now, the second balance we're talking about today is the balance between honoring your ancestors, that's your past, and building your future. Honoring your past and building your future. And Odù Ifá Òtúrá Méjì is the Odù Ifá. Odù Ifá Òtúrá Méjì. No, don't worry, I cannot forget you. Sumaya is a witness here. I didn't forget her. I promised I was going to do a Itefa for her. I said it on this live streaming without having any contact with her at all, and we did. And she came back here to tell you people that she has done it though. And half of the time she was doing wow like ambulance. So don't worry, I won't forget you. Aláṣẹkù, if I will make it possible, and Ajay will make it easy for us. Òtúrá Méjì carries the wisdom of bridge between what was and what is and what will be. Òtúrá Méjì is the one that carries that bridge between what has happened before, what is happening right now, and what will be. It is deeply connected to the Egungun Orisha, honoring of our Egungun and the wisdom that flows from those that had walked before us. Now, here is the trap that I constantly see in our community: two opposite extremes. On one side, people are so locked in tradition and locked in the past that they cannot adapt. They cannot innovate. They cannot meet this present and modern world. They worship how our ancestors did it instead of the wisdom of the ancestors. Two different things. How our ancestors did it and the wisdom with which our ancestors did it, they are two different things. The how things are done largely depends on the civilization of that environment, depends on the laws of that environment, depends on the time and the age that it happened. The how, the technical part depends on that largely. But the wisdom with which it is done, the wisdom with which it was done, that one is the fundamental that does not change. That is the Ifa in what our ancestors did. The wisdom that informed the things that they did is different from how they did it though. Now, you and I have the knowledge of Ifa, and we're existing in two different communities. Take for instance, I'm an Ifa priest in Nigeria. And I decide to, and there's another Ifa priest in the diaspora. Let's take Iyanifa Ewa, for example. I don't know if she's still on this live streaming. Now, Iyanifa Ewa lives in an environment where gender diversity, gender fluidity is a thing, sexual preference is a thing, gender is more than just male and female, at least to a large extent there. I live in an environment where gender is just binary. Sexuality is just binary. It's either you are male or female. That's just what it is. So if she wants to attend to certain people where she is, certain people can walk into her shrine and they are gay, and she will do a divination for them without even knowing that they are gay. She can have 100 of them come into her shrine and they will do it, and she will do Ebo and Etutu. And everything will work and it will be fixed. In my own environment, I'm not allowed to entertain such, because the law of the land where I operate and the custom of the people that I operate with is totally against it. They don't even want to hear anything about it. So if I spot somebody who is on that spectrum, I don't want to be associated with the person because it is illegal. Not because I personally have anything against them. That is technicality. That is different from wisdom of Ifa. Wisdom of Ifa is how I can put myself out there and people from that environment can reach out to me and I can work for them knowing that they are from that environment. The environment where you stay is allowed. Who am I to tell you yes or no? So there's a difference between the way our ancestors did it. If our ancestors walked with hoe and cutlass on their shoulder every time they wanted to do a praise session for Ogun, and they walked on their bare feet to the farm, and they carried their hoe and their cutlass on their shoulder to represent Ogun, I'm not going to do that in 2026. If I have a group of people carrying hoe and cutlass on their across their shoulder in 2026 and we are walking barefoot, the environment and the society is going to see what? Weapon. That's what they are going to see. If somebody holds a cutlass in 2026, it is dangerous. Everybody looks at it as danger alert. But when our ancestors did their own, hoe and cutlass was a regular everyday thing. Children will carry it with a basket and follow their parents. If you see a child carrying hoe and cutlass in their hand today, the first thing you look out for, who is the adult? Oh yeah. Take it from him. You are not allowed to hold it. But back in the day, they were allowed to hold it. The way, the how, and the wisdom that comes with it. The wisdom that comes with it in 2026, if you want to do anything that has to do with Ogun and metals, we will take metals that will not pass off as dangerous. You can use your metal bracelets. If I decide to hold metal bracelets, if I decide to hold a metal bracelet to say, everybody or every female should come with a fancy metal bracelet, hold it in your hand, we want to represent Ogun, nobody is going to stop us. But that's not how our ancestors did it. Our ancestors did not hold bracelets or any fancy bougie thing. They had the real, quote and unquote, representation of Ogun. We're not going to do it like that today. But the wisdom behind it is what? Ogun is the Orisha of metal and iron. That is the wisdom. The how we express it depends on the time and age that we are. So a lot of people are stuck in that. This is how our ancestors did it. Can we talk about the wisdom of what they were doing? Why did our ancestors do it that way? Because these were the only thing that was available to them at that time. Do we have more things available to us now? Yes, we do. There was a viral video, I saw it a couple of days ago, celebration of the Orishas in Brazil. Beautiful representation. And we all saw it, we all admired it, we loved it. It was a proud Yoruba moment for every one of us. But then I saw a thread on Twitter, Nigerians, Yoruba people responding to that, and people talked about, if we bring this to Nigeria now, some people will say, oh, they went to revive idols, they went to do this, they went to do that, the way our people will talk about it. Somebody said something that struck me. He said, look at how Orishas are being celebrated in public place. So meanwhile, you will get to some Baba and say, let's record this festival and post it. They will say, no, you cannot capture any of these things on camera. You cannot capture it on camera is It's not a tradition. It's not a spiritual instruction. It is just what was available at the time. Because I tell people, if human beings could gather back in the day around the Babalawo shrine and random passers-by can witness a ceremony or something that is happening, a sacrifice, an appeasement, an ebo and a tutu, if random people can pass by and witness it, then a camera can capture it. Because the eyes of random people is what a camera is. Random people are the ones that are going to watch it online. As long as during the time of your forefathers, neighbors can just pass by. Somebody can just be going on the street and say, what are they doing there? Oh yeah, let's help them sing and dance. And they are allowed to be there. And it is not forbidden for them to be there. Then it cannot be forbidden for such a thing to be captured on camera. Because it is just people, random people seeing it. Nothing. Except if it is a sacred thing where even when they are doing it, the next door neighbor of the Babalawo cannot see it. That one is sacred. It's for the eyes of the person that they are doing it for and the person that is doing it alone. Yes, it will continue to remain like that because it is an instruction that says, Ojumeta Okenri. 3 eyes, 3 pair of eyes cannot see it. The only eyes that can see it is 2. The person they are doing it for and the person that is doing it. That remains that way. So you cannot balance your ancestors and the wisdom they came with your present life if you are on this other extreme of say no, our ancestors did not capture anything on camera because they did not have a camera. Let's break it down intelligently. What is a camera? It captures, you put it on social media for more people to see. If 20 people can see it in the Babalawo's house, 20 random passerby can see it. What is wrong in 20 million people seeing it? So many people even passed by the Babalawo shrine that day that saw it, that he himself does not know. Shebi is the people he can count. What of when he was bending down to do this? What of the 10 other people that passed and saw it and danced a little bit and dropped money and went? So it could be 20 million other people. Don't be stuck in between. That is what Odù Ifá Otura Meji is saying. Those people worship the how of the ancestors. They do not pay attention to the wisdom of the ancestors. Now, the other side are people that are chasing modernity. They have cut off from their roots entirely. They look at their tradition and their lineage like, oh, this is archaic. I can't do that. I can't eat Nigerian food. I cannot eat with my hand. In 2020, we cannot be doing that. I cannot wear traditional clothes. I cannot sit in a traditional festival. I have become too tush and too cream for that. I cannot do this. I can't do that. I can't kneel. Why do we have to kneel down to greet people? I can't. I can speak to my elders and say, hi, how you doing? What's up? What's going on with you? You have become posh, you cannot. That's another extreme. Everything about culture and tradition, they're doing like this. Especially those of you that traveled 2 days ago. And you in it, especially all those London people that traveled 2 days ago. They will now be making their hand like, oh, no. Let me take a good look at it. I don't want tí má sọ wọn pé ó máa bá mọ́mí ẹ̀ ó máa bá wọn níbi tó wà bọ̀ má jẹ́ ká sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ má sọ wọn pé ó máa bá dádì ẹ̀ níbi tó wà á bá wọn bọ̀ má jẹ́ ká sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. You have now become I'm telling you, yesterday London babies, you have now become. But when life shows you life, when that London happens to you, everybody is getting a job you don't get. Everybody is working their papers you don't get. Relationship you cannot have. People are being hostile to you here and there. You remember that there is one Baba at home. Your posh will not be able to save you at that point. You will now be speed dialing a spiritualist number and be saying, please, even if it's in Iyanifa, it doesn't matter what it is. Anything at this point. I thought 2 days ago you were saying, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I mean, we can live, we can respect our tradition without having to do all of these things, It doesn't, I want to have my wedding and I don't want to have, remove the atare in it, remove the obi, remove the oregbo out of it. I don't want that. But when life when life hits you, you will come to the shrine. We will give you obi, you will eat it. You will use your hand to carry a bowl. You will sit down and eat as a jet. You don't even know. You are not even asking us what are you eating. Iyanifa, is it ready? Please let it be cold. No, ma. I think if it's hotter, the hotter the better. Let me just eat it hot like this. You will sleep on the floor inside mosquito. Mama, pa mosquito bye. You just want to go back to your London and be fine. Those are the two extremes. Ifa says have a balance. Otura Meji says have a balance. On the other side, some people are chasing modernity. They cut off from their roots entirely. No lineage, no egungun, no foundation, and they wonder why they cannot sustain what they built. Ifa lo so, emikoni mo so. Otura Meji says the tree that must touch the sky must first have its roots go deep down. You want your tree to touch the sky. You see that height that you want it to go, it also has to go that depth. A tree shows us the past. The past is the one that is buried in the ground, the way our ancestors were buried. The present is this one that is shooting out. The future is every other fruit and tree and flower that springs up. That is exactly what it tells us. That is exactly what a tree shows us, the balance of life. Now, the next point is the balance between community and self. I need you to pay attention to this. Community and self. And we're taking it from Odù Ifá, Odù Méjì. Community and self. A lot of us are guilty of this, subtly. Odù Méjì is the Odù of what is hidden, the Odù of the womb, the Odù of the interior. It speaks of things that is held inside, the secrets, the potentials, and the private life. Odù Méjì raises one of the most important tensions of this our modern life. How much do I give to my community? How much do I give to my family? How much do I give to my followers? How much do I protect in the womb of myself? You see, when I mention followers, you understand why I say a lot of us are guilty of this. This generation is guilty of this. People don't know what line to draw anymore. Hope everyone, Honey said, hope everybody has pen and paper and you are writing down. This generation does not know where to draw the line between what is called private and what is called public anymore. People will do anything for likes, for views, for comments, for fame, for social media money. People will do anything. They will share anything. They will talk about anything, forgetting that this internet doesn't forget. Look at what happened to the co-founder of what's it called? Is it Paystack? I think it was Paystack. The co-founder of Paystack. Internet reminded him. Imagine that he had those thoughts and he did not put it out there, and he buried it in the womb of his heart, in the womb of his life. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. But look at how the whole thing played out. Internet will not forget. Internet does not have Messiah, that we wash all things, we passed away, and all things will become new. Internet does not have a Messiah. It does not have a Christ or a Jesus. It does not have. Thank you so much, Auntie Landy. During the, during the Ifa festival, I came down with a flu then, so this is just the remaining part of it clearing out. Ifa says you have to find a balance. And you know, like every teaching of Ifa, it's a relative thing. I cannot come out here to give a general rule of don't talk about your children, don't talk about your husband, don't talk about your wife, don't talk about it. There is no general rule. You as an adult human being that has physical and spiritual sense, Eshe Gonima, you are the one that is supposed to know where to draw the you will know for yourself. Some of you have children that you have done your Itefa, you've done their Ishefa and their Itefa, and Ifa says this person is going to be in the public eye. Start to groom them. So I cannot tell you that don't put your children out there. No, it works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. We have seen some children grow on the internet very eyes and their life is still going well. Their parents have learned where to put the boundaries for them, despite the fact that they are minors. And we have watched adults go through that same thing that these children are going through, and they have messed up. It's a relative thing, but you need to know where to draw the balance. You need to ask yourself at every point, the destiny that I'm here to fulfill, does this align with it? I will take myself for an example. A lot of people that I've worked with in this part of life, from way back when I started building business online about 18 years ago, the people I've worked with, more than 80% of them came to me not because, oh, she's a business coach, oh, she can help me with business. No. What usually attracts people to me is, wow, this woman can relate with me. So somebody else is going through the same thing I've gone through. So somebody else have gone through this and they've handled it. Usually people get attracted to me based on the fact that they see that I can relate with their situation. That is the way it is for me. Somebody else's own is not like that. Somebody else's own is not like that. For somebody else, people come to them based on, oh, the way they speak, you know, their charisma, their motivational XYZ, the cars that they bought and the success that they are flaunting around. That's what attracted you to certain people. But I have noticed this about myself, 2 decades and counting, that people come to me just because they see that, this woman has also walked this path. This woman will be able to understand. I can open up to her. I can speak to her. She's not going to judge me. She's not going to look down on me because she has already walked this path. And I knew that early in life, that a lot of the experiences I am going through in life is to be able to walk other people through it. So for my own journey, my Ori allows me to share certain things about my life. And against when people think, no, take it back. When people think, when you say all of these things, oh, it's going to, at every point, it has always come back to be, wow, I'm glad that you said this. I'm glad that you are vulnerable to share this. This was what helped me with this. This is what helped me with that. That is what helped me with that. As against somebody that is just on social media trying to create content and get view and create a controversy by talking about everything in their life. I am doing it in line with a purpose. I'm doing it in line with a purpose. Honey and I were speaking a few weeks ago about a major thing that happened in my life recently. And the day that I'm ready to speak about it, I know that there are thousands of people out there who are in that situation and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. So they don't want to talk about it. Question is, how are they going to get help about it? No. Nobody wants to admit that they are in that situation. And I went through it. I experienced it briefly. It was about a year. And I told her that day, I said, I know that this thing, people are going through it and they need help with it. That is why my Ori allowed me to walk that path and see how everything looks like so that I'm able to help other people with it. So the day I'm going to walk you through that journey and that story is not because I'm trying to create content. It's because I know that this is a very sensitive thing. People will do everything to hide that part of their life and make you think it's perfect. No, it's not. But they desperately need help. But how do they get help when they cannot even talk about it? When the moment they mention it, everybody looks at them in a certain way. I briefly talked about my journey in mental health yesterday, and people were in the comment section saying, wow, I've had a lot of people saying, don't talk about yourself like that. Or, you don't want anything that will come in future, and people will say, that person you are dealing with has gone through mental health issue. I said that will be me among hundreds of millions of people. Do you know how many hundreds of millions of people are out there that have gone through one mental health issue or the other, and they've worked themselves out of it, and they are clinically, mentally fine and sane right now? And there are lots of people that are drowning in it because they cannot even get help, because they cannot open up to tell the next person that this is what they are going through, because they have not even come to accept that this is what they are going through. Nobody wants to have the label of they are going through mental health issues, but that's the reality. And we have lost a lot of talented people because of that imbalance. Because of that imbalance. So there are certain people that is like this. You need to ask your own self. Thank you so much, Auntie Golden Light. You have to ask your own self if it is that don't talk about it that is making us. Exactly. Is the not talking about certain things. Now, some people are called to talk about it genuinely to be able to work other people, and some people are just talking about it for popularity and fame and view. Where do we draw the line? Now, that depends on you. It depends on you. It depends on you. It depends on your oris. It depends on your calling. Odù Ifá Odimeji says that. He says here, he talks about secret, he talks about womb, he talks about keeping things. So the question now is this. What are the things? Where do you draw the line between the things you keep private and the things you put out in public? That is where your ori has to be at work. There are certain things you are talking about. In the moment of talking about it, your ori will nudge you and will say you are saying too much. I don't know how many of you have experienced this. So let me speak to people that are spiritually gifted people that are here. How many times have you experienced you're on a call with somebody, you are excited about talking to them about something, or you are empathic about their situation, and you just start to talk and you explain, and your spirit nudges you that you are saying too much, and all of a sudden network will just go off on that call. The person's phone will just turn off, or your network will just mess up. It is in that same moment when Oris gave you that nod, something will just happen and will make you and then you tell yourself, okay, that's it. So the moment the person reconnects again, you already know where you are talking too much, you already know where to calm it down, and you take it up from there. That is for people that have experienced that, for people that know that, for people that acknowledge that you have walked your ori to a certain point that your ori can communicate with you. Exactly. Or there is an interruption. In my case, my car just stopped, you see. Your ori just wanted to break that conversation that I see that you are being nice. I see what you're doing here. I see your desire to help somebody, but there is a line. You are beginning to cross the line. No, hold it. Something will just happen. And in that moment, when you are going to continue the conversation, you change the topic. You don't talk about that part again. You are interested in the college. The website is ifacollege.ng, or you can send the message to the WhatsApp number that will be pinned on your screen shortly. That is your ori helping you to find the balance. Same thing. Honey says her phone fails sometimes. The same thing. You are on social media, in comment section. You are typing. Sometimes you type something. As you are typing it, your ori will tell you, necessary. Is it really necessary? Do you really need to go back and forth with these people? You just delete it. And the people in the comments are saying, oh, the cat caught your tongue, so you don't have anything to say again. And you're looking at it like, and I know what I can say. I know what I can say. But Ori says, don't say it. And then you don't say it. And you later find out that people that said it, who came online to say allegedly, they are somewhere in Nigerian prison now, defending their allegedly. It was recently that we found out that adding allegedly to a conversation is not going to exonerate you from coming to explain that allegedly that you saw. One popular Nigerian actress who just recently became a special advisor showed us that she picked all the allegedly people in her conversation. They are there in the court of law explaining to the judge where the allegedly is coming from. Type and delete is okay. Type and delete. You are angry with them. Go into your own phone and type it to yourself. See everything there, and wipe it off. Your ori shows you where to draw the line. This is a public place. What information are you putting out there? Aside from social media public place, what are the things you are sharing with your best friend? Now, when you keep certain things from quote and unquote your best friend and your partner, it's not because you don't love them or don't trust them. Sometimes your ori will tell you, it's not time to talk about this thing. Just hold it. You're excited, you want to tell them everything. I know, but there has to be balance. Sometimes your ori might be telling you, just relax, process this thing. And by the time you weigh it, what you could have told them at the first point and what you are telling them down, look at the difference. It's then that you realize what your ori was trying to tell you at that point. So on this ground, you need to work with your ori a lot. You need to work with your spirit guide, whatever it is you call it, spirit guide, higher self, intuition. Exactly. After waiting, it actually makes sense. Pause. Keep certain things. Reprocess certain things. Restructure how you will let certain things come out. There is an incubation period for things. It's okay. Let certain things in your life go through that. Let people come and say, so you eventually got this thing and you didn't tell me in the I didn't tell you because my ori said I should keep it. Whoever it is that loves you genuinely will not be angry because you did not tell them when you were planning it. And now you are sharing the success with them. If they love you genuinely and they are spiritually intuitive people, they would understand why you had to keep it. It's okay. I even used to say it is one less thing for me to bother about. There's something you want to keep and you don't want to tell. It's okay. You too, keep it. You're an adult human being. Carry the body and process it yourself. Spare me the conversation. Ijo ti shuba jino, me all me I want to do is to eat yam with you. One a man fi owo bo iṣu ẹni ni. Ki iṣu ẹni tó ta a man bo ni báyìí. Before your yam germinates, you cover it. You don't want anybody to tamper with it. When your yam grows and is ready to harvest, me as your friend, that's the time I want to know. Is yam harvested? Let's eat yam. Let's eat yam with palm oil. Let's eat yam with egg sauce. Let's pound it. Let's roast it. Let's fry it. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you did not carry me through the body, because in the process of where you are covering your yam, it doesn't mean I don't love you. I wouldn't have supported you, but you saved me stress. Because I would have been there. Which manure should we put? How do we build shade? And I know myself, I will carry it on my head like government work. How do we shade it? How do the pest, the pesticide, the weeding? I will carry it on my head as if it's me. Cover your yam, let it germinate. When it has grown, I can help you to dig it out, or you can call me during that time. Or if you want to dig it out yourself, dig it out. Tobasha ati Gino, don't forget that we are friends. When your yam is ready, remember we are friends. We eat it together. I don't have a problem with you keeping something. There are so many things I'm keeping. That's what it means to be an adult. If you have a friend that you think they have to divulge everything to you, you are children, you are not adults. Adult human beings understand that there is boundary in life. The only person you owe everything is yourself. The partner you are with should understand that there are certain times that you might not be able to articulate certain things. It's okay for you to pause and process it. What is not okay is that you genuinely need the help of your partner and you are just trying to be independent. No, there are two extremes. Balance it. Some people are not happy with your success due to envy. Those ones are I want to come. I'm even talking about people that genuinely love you right now. They genuinely love you. But your ori still says, fenomenu la fawoshe. Fenomenu ni. The instruction of Awo is use your upper lip to hold your lower lip. Use it to do like this. Shut up, Lafawoshi. Keep quiet. Draw the line. Nothing is going to happen to you if you don't talk about it yet. Nothing is going to happen to you. So you learn to know how to draw the line based on where your Ori is aligning you to. Ifa says here that African culture has been used to drain individuals, especially women, in the name of community. You must share everything, you must carry everybody along, your success belongs to all of us. You know, this community thing that we have as Africans, especially as Yoruba people. You are a mother, you have to carry everybody along. They put a burden on you that you have to involve everybody. It's a community thing. One person gives birth to a child, 200 people raise the child. So everything that goes on in the life of your child, the entire community has to know. You need to strike a balance. That's what Ifa says. You need to strike a balance. You need to know what belongs to the community, what is a community project and what is a personal project. And it is okay. Will some people be happy with it? No. But we are not here to make them happy. You are not Father Christmas. You are not ice cream seller. You are not here to make everybody happy. If they love you, if they are matured adult human beings that have sense and they are matured enough, if you explain to them, oh, this is the reason I didn't tell you, they would respect your reasons. They might have an opinion to say, you took a big risk by doing this thing yourself. What if it turned out the other way? Next time, if you are doing this, the moment you notice you cannot handle it again, please, I'm here. Always reach out to me. That is the way an adult human being that has sense will communicate with the people that they love. Boundaries has been set, you understand. It doesn't mean they don't love you. They are setting boundaries. You are trying to balance their life. Tell yourself that. When your friend keeps setting information for you, respect the fact that they are adults and they have made a choice. You can chip it in here and there. Next time, in case this thing goes out of proportion, just remember that I'm here. I'll be able to help you. I acknowledge your strength to be able to carry this alone. To be able to carry this alone, I acknowledge it. Exactly. Don't make it about you. Don't make it about you. So you don't love me anymore. I thought you were best friend. You are a child. And that's the reason. If you know, I choose my words when I refer to people that are grown as adult human being. Because some people will be acting like adult animal, adult plants. Adult human people that have brain. Somebody is doing something, you are making it about, they did not tell you. Then the day of their celebration, nobody sees you there. You say, if I don't go there, everybody will be asking, where is her best friend? Let me see what she's going to explain to them. Are you 5 years old or 7? Because you can't even be 10 and be acting like that. Please, grow up. Become adult human beings that have sense. Grow up. Social media has created a world where you are expected to share everything. The more vulnerable you can be, the more open you can be, the more you can talk, the more you will trigger the algorithm, the more viral you will go, I briefly walked into a conversation where they said there was somebody's account on Facebook that they took down. I don't even know if it's an old news or a new news. They said they call it flash me and be view once or something like that. The person will be on live streaming and then for a minute just show their private part and then cover it back. I need to know how much they are paying them for the. Maybe that can justify it because money seems to justify a lot of things. Let's start from there. Maybe it's the money. Maybe by the time they do it like 10 times, they are able to accumulate like $1 million or $10 million. So we can look at it like, okay, maybe that's right. Because it has become like that. You people do not share memo. That's where we are right now. Wow. Somebody thank you for reminding me the reason my children don't have phone. My 17-year-old does not have access to social media. Aside from YouTube that is for children, where they can watch me and every other child content. Because my 17-year-old is still a child. Iyanifa, what if you go outside and they need to communicate with you? There is nowhere they will be that there will not be an adult with them that will communicate with me. You know, you allow your own children to go to places where there are no adults, so they will need to communicate with you by themselves. My own children don't go anywhere where they are, because they are children. I treat them like children. That's what they are, children. And they need to be in the company of an adult. The only way they can walk around by themselves is within the estate complex where we stay. And that place is secured by adults who can immediately see on the camera what is happening to children. I don't know, because social media is not a street for normal people anymore. Her name is Auntie Shakira. Don't know. I just walked in on one conversation somewhere. I cannot. Even game, yeah. I don't see. Like I said, your Ori would direct you. You see me to show you how I can be. My children don't even attend regular school. And I'm not saying everybody has to homeschool. And one of the reasons my children don't attend regular school is because I don't know how many of you are Nigerians and how many of you started hearing stories of things that was happening in Nigerian secondary schools a while back. A couple of years ago, it was like every week we are hearing something. You know, when this actress Tonto Dike was championing a lot of things that was happening in secondary schools here and there. It's either somebody is bullying somebody's child, somebody is a lot of things that we cannot even talk about. And I looked at it there and I'm like, assuming my children were going to school, it says the way I will wake up in the morning and I'll be worried, what did they do to them today? What happened to them today? They will now come back from school every day. I'll be asking, did the uncle in the school bus touch you? Because these days, it's not only uncle that can even touch. Auntie can even touch a girl child now. What did your friends say? Who followed you to the toilet? Did you take anything from anybody? Did they give you something? Me as the person, I cannot. A lot of you can. That's what I'm saying. Our already understands the boundaries for us. I cannot. I cannot function knowing that my children might be in an environment that they are unsafe. That's why they are called children. That's why they are called children. When they become adults, I know that, yes, it's life. I will just be praying for them. I know that. But as long as they are children, they are still children. They are not responsible for anything. And I can't function. I don't know. It's me. That was the balance I have to give to myself. Homeschooling is a thing. People do it. Let's do it. That's the only way I can sleep and know that, okay, they're at home, they're in the house. Oh, Iyanifa, you cannot continue to protect them forever. But I can protect them for the time that I can. And we sit down, we talk about this thing every day. This is the reason we are homeschooling. This is the reason we are doing this. You are gathering so many tools of life. When you become an adult, 21 is the age in Nigeria. It's not 18, it's 21. Official age in Nigeria is 21. When you become that age, you'll be able to, you would have gathered so many things. This is the world I'm preparing you for. I'm keeping you from right now. This is what exists in that world. Let's look at it together. So when you are there, you understand where you are coming from. You understand where you are going to. As far as I'm concerned, you are able to make better decisions. Now, does that guarantee a perfect life? It doesn't. But then again, there's no perfect anywhere. Does that guarantee that your children are going to turn out to be dead? It doesn't, but it guarantees that I, as a parent, have done my best. So you know where to draw this line. You know what works in the environment you are in. And you are able to help your children. Let your children learn the drawing of the line. You know how back in the day, now with social media, back in the day, you know all those children in the neighborhood that will come and tell you everything about their house. My daddy did this, my mommy did this. My daddy is 40 years old, and my mommy is 20 years old. And my mommy fought with her friend yesterday. My daddy and my mommy fought. There was no social media. You see those children. And people will say, they are children. No, they are learning something. Sit down with your children and tell them that certain information remains in the family. Nobody has the privilege to know it. Even when you fall in love with whoever you fall in love with. There are certain times that my brother that is with me right now will do certain things that will really hurt me, and I want to pick up the phone and tell my husband or tell my partner. But I know that in a couple of days, my brother and I will sort it out. I will forgive him because I love him, because it's a part of my life forever. But will my husband be able to forgive him? Will my husband be able to look past him? My husband does not have the same relationship with him. He might not be able to. No, so certain things, I just keep it to myself. I don't talk about it. Not because I'm hiding something from my partner, but because I know that as we are moving forward in this life, they might not be able to. Raising children outside Nigeria is such a hassle. I know, and I pray for all of you, whether home or abroad. These children that we are raising, if I will give us wisdom to direct them in the path that they are supposed to go, so that over our children we will not, Thomas, we will not have any regret. We will not sit down in old age and look at them and say, and I wish I did this better. And I wish I did this better. That's what I tell my children. I want to be able to look at you in adult life and tell myself that as a mother, you tried. Oluwadamilola, when it comes to parenting, it won't be on you, you tried. And that's the way I want to be able to look at myself. So as you are doing everything you are doing, whatever decision you are making, you are not perfect. Don't put too much on yourself. Nobody is. Do what you can do part time. Do what you can do part time. Let your ori guide you. The moment you can afford to, do Itefa or Ishefa for your children. Sit down and explain to them, this is what Ifa said about you. This is how Ifa guides us. Nobody knows how to run the decisions of life. Let your children know that even you as a parent, you are just trying. But there is a system that has this information, and that is Ifa. And that system is what you are using to guide you, to guide them. Let them know. And then every day, as they are walking, you two are walking. They will be children. Children will always be children. Drag them back with sense. So that you see old age. Old age, you see that when they say judgment day will come, you will stand before judgment. It starts, if there's any judgment day in the afterlife, it's okay. But it starts in this as you're aging, as you're advancing in age, you will sit down and you will look at your life. The choices you made, the decisions you made, the ones you did not make, the things you did not do. You will look at it. Your judgment will start from there. The choices you made in your health, the way you raised your children. And you then feel on àwọn ọmọ yẹn wá dàgbà wọ́n máa dàbí ọmọ Haúsá tí ò lè ríra wọn sójú. Wọ́n fi kan kẹ́kan. You are petting one child over another child. You are making it obvious that this is the one that you love. And the other ones are wondering, but when it's not me, mommy will not do it. You are teaching your children to resent each other. Then they grow up. Children that you gave birth to, they cannot attend your party. As long as my sister is going to be there, me, I cannot be there. Mommy, she can do your birthday for you on Friday. Me, I will do my own for you on Saturday. Children that share the same womb. Look at yourself as a parent. I don't want to say they are failed, but what is your failure? It looks like failure. That old age is where that's where it's going to come from. So please, Elédùmarè, I beg of every one of us, the balance that you need to put in that aspect of your life, put it. The balance that aspect of your life needs, put it. The balance that you need to put in parenting, put it. Don't raise your children based on what is trending, based on what every other person is doing. I know this might sound funny and a little extreme. You are raising your children right now. They cannot speak their local languages. Where am I located? I'm located in Nigeria. If you need anything, send a message to the WhatsApp number that is pinned on your screen. A lot of your children cannot speak their local language, their local dialect. As far as you are concerned, you are bougie. You are posh. Then your children will come back and need something from their roots. And your own Nigerian children, Ghanaian children, Kenyan children, South African children will be paying somebody to interpret for them. You are failed as a parent. You are failed as a parent. I see so many people now, Yoruba children that were born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria. They traveled abroad. Some of them were even born abroad, but to Nigerian parents. And they come to Ifa now. We send them a reading. They cannot interpret it. We have to treat them like foreigners. What is that? Especially because your local language has a depth that English and French cannot translate. It's a shame. Let's call it what it is. And they will need these things. They will need these things. I saw that thing online. A school in somewhere, some institution in Toronto, where a Chinese man is teaching Yoruba language. You think if Yoruba language does not have any depth, any richness to it, a Chinese will learn it and be teaching people Yoruba in Toronto? A time will come when they will need these things. Real life, they will need it, and then they will be paying people to interpret their own local language to them. People from the West are coming to Ifa. They cannot get the depth of Ifa because they can only have communication in English. And you too, you are the same thing. I get your parents are not raised, but as an adult human person, you cannot find a way to learn Yoruba, learn Hausa, learn Igbo, learn your Benin language. But if they tell you that a job is coming up today, that you need French and English, I see a lot of Nigerians hoping and wanting to travel to Canada, and they will start going through French school, going to French school, so that they can be equipped with both languages, because where they are going to is a dual language country. But those same people cannot speak Igbo or Yoruba. They cannot. And they live in this Nigeria that we all live in. If you can learn English, you can learn Yoruba, you can go to another country in Europe, especially those of you in Europe, and learn a new language to go to school as an adult. I don't know, what's your problem? I'm telling you, that OOTD thing, we look at it, somebody sent me one. We look at it and we smile, but it is a shame. You have lost balance. Mrs. O forever, in fact, every time I remember you, I almost want to tap into that spirit that you have. I'm also self-taught in Yoruba. I say it today, if my father and my mother can speak to me from the other side of life about my Yoruba, wow is what they will be saying. Because just like you, I was also raised to say, Yoruba is vernacular. Imagine if I didn't learn Yoruba when I learned it. I will now be an Iyanifa. It's either I'm not able to do this work, or I will be the Iyanifa that Ibabalawo will now sit beside me and be reading Ifa, then I will be saying it, he'll be speaking it to me, then I'll be translating in English. I won't be able to make Yoruba and Iwuri. Imagine Iyanifa Ewa that you know today without a good command of Yoruba language. I didn't know I was going to become an Iyanifa when I was learning it. I just felt, because I used to travel a lot, and I felt I wanted to be able to communicate in a language other than English. It's only English I understand. At least Mrs. O forever, honey, she can speak French, she can speak German, she can speak this one. Man, I cannot even speak any of them, just English. I will still now not be able to speak my local dialect. Let's put a balance in life. Adult human beings, put yourself at that challenge. The year has just started, and at the time of recording this video, this is February 2026. Year has just started. Challenge yourself that in the next 2 years you want to learn your local language and become fluent in it, and then teach your children. You never can tell where it will pop up for them. That's one of the balance you should go and find. Odimeji says even the womb must close before it can birth. When the seed is put into the womb, it has to close and nurture before it is when that child is fully mature that they can push it out. There is a time for privacy, there is a time for self-protection, there is a time for building in silence. Normalize it. There is something called self-preservation. There is something called building in silence. There is something called privacy. Normalize it. Thank you so much, honey. She said no language is learnt that is a waste. Normalize those three things. Now, what does balance mean in this case? Community is not a license for exploitation. The fact that we are community oriented does not mean you should allow anybody to exploit you based on the fact that you want to include your community in things. You have a right to private resources, private energy, private time. A person that gives all of themselves to the community eventually has nothing for themselves. And I told you, really, nothing propagates the idea of giving all. I give all. You can even give more than you have. You can even borrow and give. Nothing propagates that idea more than religion, and it is a trap. We mentioned it yesterday. It is a trap. If you are falling into that trap, pull yourself out of it. Nobody asks you to give all. All how? What's going to remain for you if you give all? And the people that are carrying microphone every day and telling you to give your all, come and put your all at the altar. They are reserving money. They are buying private jets. They are flying their wives to exotic vacation destination, and they are telling you to come and give your all I surrender, all to Jesus, all to him I freely give. In the name of surrendering, you cannot see Jesus. In the name of surrendering to Jesus, you are surrendering all to the altar of the church, surrendering all to the pastor of the church, surrendering all to the community of the church. You are surrendering all. They are not surrendering all. They are not even surrendering 10%. They are teaching you to surrender all, so that every extra you have, you feel guilty for keeping a little extra, so that they can take for you. It's nobody needs to tell you that. Your adult human brain should be able to figure that out by now. So please unlearn. We are surrendering all, but your shoe is trying to be changed. Unlearn that idea that God wants you to surrender all. The universe did not ask you to surrender all. Look at the universe that we live in. Does the universe need anything from you? Look at the world that we need in. Does the universe need your all? No. The universe is abundant, super abundant. The universe does not need your all. The universe is super abundant. So you need to know where to draw the line. And there's some of you, the trauma you are going through is, I don't know what the name for it is. There will be a term for it, but the way your trauma expresses itself is in the fact that you feel that until you give, I don't know how to explain this, but you're giving and you're giving and you're giving is the way you feel good as a person. Is the way you justify your niceness. Is the way you justify, oh, this is who I am. You so desperately want everybody to see you as this person, and you're just constantly here. You are constantly here. Mr. Mike, you came late. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to call you Mr. Mike. Erifa, you came late. So Mr. Mike's Ifa name is Erifa. Like I said yesterday, I will intentionally start calling people from their names that make meaning. I don't know the meaning of Mike. I don't know. The only thing I know about Michael is Angel Michael, and we don't even know if Angel Michael was true. Apart from that figurine, I don't think I know anything about Angel Michael. So Iyanifa Ewa, thank you so much for joining us. So maybe it comes from low self-esteem. Maybe it comes from just wanting to, I want to be seen. Maybe it comes from covering up a certain part of their life, and they just want to do and do and do and do a lot, so that's the only thing that people are focusing on. So that when their bad character shows up, people can say, look at the things that they're always giving. I don't know whichever way it is, but please learn to draw the boundaries. Ifa is talking about boundaries here. Learn to draw the line. Ifa says community is not a license for exploitation. The fact that you have a family, you have friends, You have a community. Exactly, validation, thank you. The fact that you have a community you are answering to does not give them the license to exploit you. You have the right to private resources. This one is for me and I'm keeping it for myself. You have a right to private energy, private time, without feeling guilty. As long as it's not an emergency for the people that you prioritize as very important in your life, it's okay to say, I can't show up at this time, me too, I need rest. As much as I love this community, there are times when I shut out, I'm like, sorry, I cannot attend to this, I also need rest. Without feeling guilty. When I was in church, I would feel very guilty about it. As a pastor, how can somebody call you at night and you are not there? If you call me at night as a babalawo, I cannot be there. And I will not feel guilty. And I will tell you to go and call 911 because, my dear, I cannot even open up Odù Ifá at that time of the night. Even if I want to, I cannot. You understand that part? Even if I want to, I cannot. Ifá forbids me from doing it. So you see how Ifá has helped us put a balance. So please, it's okay to have private life, private resources without feeling guilty. A person who gives all of themselves to the community eventually has nothing for themselves and nothing to give, and they become a burden even to themselves. And you know the painful part of it, the people that they gave their all to don't usually show up for them, and it hurts them. It makes them feel bad. See everything I've done for every other person. Nobody is even there to show. You are supposed to do what you can do. Some of us, if I would tell us, I don't know of any other person, it's part of the instructions of my own Odù. If I says what I cannot give away, I shouldn't borrow people. What I cannot give, I shouldn't borrow people. So that I don't put myself in a situation where, and I borrowed her money, I'm running after somebody because of money I borrowed them. And this, some of you, your Odù has made you a money lender. It's your own. No. You have blessing from borrowing people money. That's your own. My own does not allow it. So that if the person doesn't come back to pay me back, I don't feel a certain kind of way because I genuinely dashed you. You might say, Iyanifa, loan me this money. I'm not loaning you. I will genuinely dash you. So whether you come back with it or not. Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you so much, Erifa. Oh, God. So please, draw the line and take care of yourself. Protect your inner life. Find your private life. Some of you need to find it. You don't have it anymore. Go and find it. It's a thing. Find your private life. Find it. Find it. Now start to build. This is my private life. Ṣé Olóyè la máa pè wọ́n báyìí ni Mrs. Honey? Are we going to call him Olóyè Erifa or Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Erifa? Torí Mr. Ego òyìnbó ni. Should we say Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Erifa or Olóyè Erifa? What's going on? Or Ọmọ Awo Erifa? We should say Olóyè. Okay, somebody has dashed you title Erifa. They say you should call you Olóyè Erifa. Olóyè is chief. So officially, by the power vested on me and Queen B Esther as daughters of Oshun on this planet, including Honey, we are hereby renaming you Olóyè Erifa. Oya. Hey! We just concluded the naming ceremony. Rice and chicken will be shared at the end of the service. Wait and collect your bottle of Zobo for the naming ceremony we just did. So Ifá says protect your inner life, feed yourself, your private life, then you'll be able to pour out in the community from an overflow. You'll be able to pour out into your community. Feed yourself. Oloye, they say you do party for us, so feed yourself. His son name is King. Yeah. He was telling me yesterday that Mrs. O Forever said his son name is King. This woman has Mrs. O Forever, please, if you have another best friend, tell your other best friend that another best friend has snatched you from them. Because you see how somebody is interpreting languages. I doubt even if the owner of the name knew the meaning of their name. Mrs. O Forever, I officially snatched you from your former best friend. I cannot know you in this life and not be your best friend. The final point of our balance is balance between loss and renewal. This one is very important. balance between loss and renewal. Accepting Oyeku without fear. Mrs. Iyanifa, we can share. Accepting Oyeku without fear. Honey, can you remember this conversation we had? Can you remember this conversation about Oyeku? Ifa says we can accept Oyeku without fear. I'm sure you remember. Now, I have saved this one for the last because it is one that nobody wants to talk about. Oyekumeji is the Odù of death, of darkness, of endings, of the night, of, you know, every one of those things that we don't want to talk about, all those things that we reject in Jesus' name. I reject it in Jesus. It's life. It's Elédùmarè that created it. It's part of life. A lot of people run from this Odù because they fear it. They try to get around it. But Oyekumeji is not your enemy. Oyekumeji is your teacher. Every balanced life contains endings. There would always be endings. Some marriages must end. Some businesses must close. Identities must end so that you have a true and clear image of yourself. Seasons must complete itself. I was speaking to two ladies. One of them should be on this live streaming, if not both of them. She was talking to her friend. She's one of my Omoawu. She did Itefa at my shrine. And she was already talking to one of her friends, you know, to come to Ifa, her best friend. She was sharing her journey in Ifa. And then this, my client that did Itefa, she and her husband did Itefa about the same time, close to each other. And they're having his training, they're married right now. And in fact, the man is asking for a total divorce and separation, blah, blah, blah. And the friend, the best friend is saying, if you and your husband has done Itefa and your marriage is ending, what am I coming to? It was discouraging her from coming to Ifa. So my Omoawo said, Iyanifa, please, if you can spare time, we can come on a conference call, come and explain to my friend. I don't know how to explain to her that whether this marriage ends or doesn't end, it doesn't change what Ifa is. So I had to be on a conference call with them. And she said, at the beginning of the conversation, she said, I mean, I'm just of the opinion that, you know, they can work this out, they can fix this. Ifa is supposed to be able to fix this. And, you know, she was speaking a lot of English. By the way, I love the way she articulates English language. When I was done, she said, it's true. All of these things. Now, the things that I pointed out, they are not things that she has not heard before. Her best friend has told her all of those things already. But she was still of the opinion that the marriage should not end. The worst that can happen is for the marriage to end. And I told her, what if the ending of this is the miracle and the blessing that your friend has been looking for? What if this child that they have together is the only thing that destiny has? Now, don't let us even say what if. Remember I said the lady has done her Itefa. The man too has done his Itefa. When the man was the one that came first. When the man came, Ifa says, he's still going to have another wife. Another person will still have a child for him. And when Babalawo was saying it in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I know this man's wife. You know, there's some information that Ifa will give you that you'll be wondering, how can you just say that to somebody? Ifa said it. In fact, the funny part of it, the funny part of it, Ifa gave us some other information about the man. Ifa talked about, you know what Yoruba calls manhood, the male reproductive organ. Ifa says, this person will start to experience challenges in their manhood. In fact, the Babalawo said, if you check now, he's already going south. I looked around and I'm like, TMI, that's way too much information in a public place. But what have we not heard before? What have we not seen? The man, of course, he didn't tell me anything like that. Meanwhile, he and his wife have been struggling to conceive a second child. And they didn't know this was what was happening. Or maybe the man knew. I don't know. I didn't have a conversation with him about it. It was too private and kind of embarrassing. I didn't. And Ifa says he was going to have, another woman will have a child with him. And if it happens, he should not dare to consider a D&C. That's his path in life. Now, he did his own and he went. I don't know what he shared with his wife. His wife and I were not close at the time that she came for Itefa. When she came, Ifa told her that her current marriage is likely to end, and on her journey in life, she will have a third husband. And Babalawo asked her, have you been married before this one? She said not married, but she had been in a married-like situation that produced a child, and she's in one. Ifa says if they don't work at it, this second one is likely to break, and she will meet another person. Now, separately, my Babalawos that did the Idafa, they didn't know that the two of them were married. I mean, between the husband and the wife, we did Itefa for so many other people, so we don't put that information in our head. Ifa said this to the man and said this to the woman in separate divinations. So when I was telling the friend that day, she was like, oh wow. I said yes. These things happen. The end of a marriage does not mean somebody has failed in life. It just means you have done your part in that place and it has otito. We have reached bus stop. Maybe it wasn't supposed to end. Maybe if the two of them have tried that it could have worked. It's possible. But what if the other person says, I don't want to try harder? What are you going to do? You cannot do more than what you're... If somebody says, I'm not doing again, I'm not going to try harder, I'm not going to... You will let them go and find somebody else that can try harder. Ifa told me I would have two husbands. Asked my man if he was my first, else he should prepare. Wow. Ifa just doesn't censor. Ifa doesn't censor anything, no. Imagine when I got my own Odù Ifá, at that time, it was even me alone. At that time, I had even gone through a lot of my journey when it comes to marriage and everything. And Ifa still said, at the time I was doing my Ifa said the relationship I was in is not still going anywhere. Before I can find that person, there are certain parts of my calling, of my path in life that I have to fulfill. And they stated Ifa College as one of them. They didn't tell me Ifa College, but they said I was going to build something that is massive in Ifa, something that I have never even seen the type before. Until I get to that point, I'm not likely to find the person to do life with. In fact, that project is what is going to attract the person. Ifa said it clear. It was in Itefa. I wasn't asking. When I went for my Itefa, I didn't ask any questions. I went to a place where nobody knew me. People that didn't have any information about me. And I was just listening to them like this. And the Baba was saying, Shefa Jano. I'll just nod my head. Because I know once I open my mouth to say A, I will say A to Z. I will just continue to talk. So I was like this. My staff was with me. He was writing it down. The two of us would look at our eyes like this. And because he knows me, we would just look at each other like this. Wow. And the Baba was saying, Shiko Sio, Shefa Jano, like the way you guys are looking at each other, I hope we are not saying too much. I hope we have not lied. Though. We said, no, we understand what you are saying. And at the end of the day, I looked at it like, wow. And this was me before I got to that journey thinking, am I the only one? Am I that bad? Like, is it that bad? Even people that don't have half the character that I have, they are keeping husband for 25 years now. But then again, when you come into Ifa, you will find out that the balance of life is the balance of life. So after we had the conversation, the lady said, in fact, she concluded in herself that, oh, if that is the best for you, I see clearly now that it doesn't have anything to do with Ifa. That is balance in life. So Odù Ifá Oyekumeji says, every balanced life contains endings. There is no way you would have life and it will not have certain endings. Certain relationship will end, certain businesses will crash, you will physically lose people around you. Where are the two of you? People around you who are living with you will get to some certain points where life will have to end. It's painful. Where are they? It's painful. Okay, I said Oyeku is our teacher. Oyeku is your teacher. Oloye Rifa says Oyeku ni olùkọ́ mi. You see, Ifa College Yoruba students, proud teacher moment. My student is doing well. I see you. You see what we were saying just before Oloye Erifa came. Those of you that are born Yoruba, you are not learning and practicing Yoruba. Àwọn àtòkè, àwọn àtọ̀húnwá, àwọn tó fẹsẹ̀ rìn wá, they are the ones practicing Yoruba. Ẹ̀yin tó forí yín sọlẹ̀ síbí, you are doing in it. And some of them will speak the American English. And I'll be looking at them like this, auntie, you better speak properly. Because everything I say right now is not adding up. They will switch from American to a little bit of British will be there. They will put Jamaican inside somewhere just because they don't want to sound Nigerian. Those of us that know. We just look at you like, auntie, you're disgracing your village people. Just speak Nigerian English. Nigerian English is a thing. Àwọn àtọ̀húnrìnwá ẹ ṣé gan ni Mr. Dayo P1. Nigerian English is a thing. Speak it. It's a thing. Indians will speak their own. Now that OOTD they vex you. I'm telling you, like they will now come. Ilẹ̀kẹ̀ mi, daddy mi ló rà láti next. Kíní ọwọ́ mi yìí. Come on. I'll find something to say. If we can fling Oraimo cord from inside our house, etí gbogbo yẹn á ti lé. Nǹkan tó ń ṣe wọ́n. Nǹkan tó ń ṣe gbogbo yín. And they now think it is. I mean, I know some people are doing it for the fun of it, like, just to be comic. But to think that that is some people's life, after 2 weeks abroad, they will pick up the phone. Hey Joe, Shemo Mimi is there. I just confess sorrow to my mom. It's back by it's here. We'll start to marry. Adri to wa no someone. You better don't let us say what is in our mouths. And for us, you think you are doing something that is prideful. Some people, if you know how he is trying so hard to learn Yoruba, every time we're in class, if you know how the Oloye Erifa is trying to learn Yoruba and practicing every day, it makes me feel so proud. And yes, they think they are cute. They think it is bougie and fancy. Don't worry. There are some people that I'm teaching Yoruba in my class that have callings to be Babalawos and Iyanifa until the day that one of them will do a divination for you and be interpreting Odù Ifá to you. And you are paying them money. Àwọn àtọ̀húnrìnwá, you are paying them money to learn about Ifá to do a divination. Ìjọ yẹn lọ́ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa sọ fún yín pé àtẹ̀yìn àti dádì yín ẹ̀yin ṣẹ̀sìn, ẹ̀yin àtàwọn tó raise yín ẹ̀yin ṣẹ̀sìn, ẹ rò pé ẹ̀ ń yọ̀, ẹ̀yin fira yín ṣẹ̀sìn ìta gbangba, ẹ rò pé ẹ̀ ń yọ̀, kò sí wàhálà. Odù Ifá says that the person who cannot release what is over will be dragged down into what is over. There are certain times in your life where you need to tell yourself that certain things are over. This thing is done. It has served its time. It has expired. Nobody holds on to expired vegetables and food items. You let it go. It has served its time. It has gone. It's okay. I know you love it so much. Those of you that love one certain shoe, that shoe is now tight. That skirt, you cannot wear it again, but you want to hang it in your wardrobe. It's okay, or hang your skirt. You are the one that bought it with your money. But there are some skirts in life that you should not hang anymore. Let it go. Wrap it and give it to the person that needs it. You see that marriage you are holding on to, that person is better off with somebody else. If I said let them go, let them go. They are better off with somebody else. You've seen some exes that treated you in a way that whatever will be ṣé ni yìí dẹ̀ lọ́rùn báyìí, ìyá kan dẹ̀ ló kọ́ ilé, and this one has a heart like this. But the next relationship you will see them in, you'll be wondering, is it the same man? Let me reference Zatima Sisters, that Tyler Perry's series. You see how Zach, how his ex will look at him when he was with Fatima, that She kept on saying, is it the same Zach? Are you sure the same Zach I was with is the one you are describing? It's the same person. They are better off with somebody else. The character of Fatima in that movie was able to bring out the best in Zach, was able to help Zach become a better person. The other women that they had been with, that he had been with before, they didn't have that capacity. They didn't have the capacity. It's okay. Let them go to where they can handle them. I know it's hard, especially in relationship, in business. Some of you are funding business that this is the 5th year of that business. You are telling yourself you are building foundation. Until you are not building foundation, you are is agbano. In Yoruba, it's called agbano. It's a hole in your pocket that is draining your finances. It's just a hole. Accept it at this point. Join Ifa Business School and look at that business you are doing. Ifa will expose it to you that you are just wasting money. And it's okay to count your loss at this point and just move on. It's a cute, fancy business idea. I get it. But let it go. It has died a natural, it has become unalive naturally. It's not village people. It's just expired. We need to go through life understanding that certain things will expire on our journey in life. Certain things will expire. And once the expiry date has, dump it. You know how you no longer like something again. I buy a couple of thrift furniture. I buy a couple of thrift furniture because there are certain things that I see that I like that I can't just walk into a store and find. And when I bring them home and I look at them, I'm like, wow, somebody sold this thing. It's still very beautiful. They used it very well. It has reached expiry time in that place. Allow it to move on to somewhere else that other people will appreciate it. It's okay. Let that business go and sit down and find out what Ifa wants from you. A business that has drained you for 5 consecutive years. Except you are laying foundation to become another Dangote Shao. But if you are not laying foundation to replicate what Otedola or Mike Adenuga has built, 5 years of draining, you need to ask yourself a question and look into it. So Ifa says a person who cannot release what is over will drag themselves into what is over. The relationship that ended 3 years ago, the business that failed, the version of yourself that no longer serves your destiny, let it go. Please type it in the comment section. Let it go. Tell yourself, I'm letting it go. This thing that no longer serves me. Your Ori is telling you right now, those things that are no longer serving you, that you should let go. Nothing is going to happen. There are certain friends that you are dragging on in life. You know this person is no longer serving you, but so that people will not say you left them at a certain time in their life. I was in that situation. My partner and I were talking about it last night. Somehow I waited for the other person to say, okay, this thing is no longer serving us. But long before that person said this thing is no longer serving us, I already knew it was no longer serving me. I already knew it was draining me. But I was thinking about it like, if I decide to remove shock, see, by your shock in the DNA, by won't the world look at me as, how can you leave this person in this situation, the time that they needed you most? And I kept on, and it was draining me. A lot of you noticed it last year. A lot of you who are observant, you noticed it. But I'm grateful to Elédùmarè that the other person too was able to quickly say, let it go. Let's let this thing go at this point. This friendship is no longer working. We both see it. We are better off as people that do not have any attachment or bond. Let it go. Your Ori is pointing out some things to you. That cute business idea that you have dreamt of when you were a child, and you just desperately want to be seen as a boutique owner. When I was younger, owning a boutique was like a fancy thing. My wife has a boutique. My wife has a boutique. The only person that is buying from the boutique is her and her friends. At the end of the day, it's her husband that will still buy for her from her boutique, and then her little friends. They keep dusting the same thing. As long as she's sitting down in that place and just saying, I have a boutique, she's happy. Bring the charger here. I have a boutique, she's happy, but it's not working. No. Barry is there, okay, so that woman did it. It's not working. Especially men. You know how your wife comes every year and you are funding, babe, I just need you to help me with my business. I just need you to help me with my business. We are on year 7. Every year, I'm the one that gives you money to restock. But you don't want to hurt her feelings. You will keep giving her money to restock. You don't want to hurt her feelings in any way. You keep giving her, take this money to restock. At what point are you going to sit down and tell her that business has died? My love, I love you so much, but you see, this is not a business anymore. It's not a business. Let's be sincere with ourselves. This thing you are doing is not a business. Go and let's look for something else for you to do. Babe, don't worry. This year we are going to, that's what you said last year and the year before. I'm not saying you should sit down at home and become a full housewife. I'm not asking you not to do anything. But you see, this your particular, I'm going to Dubai to import something, is a lie. You are not doing anything. Find something else that works for you and I will support it. But you see, this one is not working. Tell yourself that. But you know, a lot of times we are always saying we don't want to hurt our loved ones, we don't want to hurt them. That's why we do certain things that we do. Not working in alignment with your purpose, yes. So that ends the 5 points that we were going to check in today. Let Oyeku do his work. Let Oyeku do his work. Let the process of honor life happen. Let it happen is a thing. Let Oyeku do his work. Let it take his natural course. If the end has come, it's okay. Count your losses. Cry if you have to cry. Vent if you have to vent. Do everything you have to do. Ask your Ori to give you the strength to go through that period. Is it going to be easy? Just because it is not in alignment with your spirit and it falls off, it's not going to make it easy. Humanly speaking, it's still going to be a certain kind of way, and that is okay. But let it go. Tell somebody to bring my power bank. But just let it go. Is that okay? Now, in closing, we have looked through 8 points since we started. 8 points, 8 odus, and one singular truth. Ifa does not promise you a life without struggles. Ifa promises you a life where every force has its place. There is work, there is rest, there is giving and receiving. There is community and self. There is tradition and innovation. There is life, there is honor life. Ifa promises us that every one of these forces will show off at different points in their different ways. Know how to balance it. A balanced life, not a perfect life, not a painless life, not a life without challenges, but a whole life that is rooted and that is moving. That is what Ifa promises us. That is what Ifa promises us. So we have looked through character, Iwa. We looked at that yesterday in Iwurimeji. We looked at the balance of body and spirit in Ejiogbe. We looked at the balance of work and rest in Ofumeji. We looked at the balance of giving and receiving in Osemeji. We looked at the balance of destiny and free will in Ogundameji. We looked at the balance of ancestors, the past and the future in Oturameji. We looked at the balance of community and yourself, what is public and what is private in Odimeji. And we looked at the balance of loss and renewal in Oyekumeji. I know you have learned something, whether you are catching us live or you are catching a replay. If you are watching a replay, all the information you need will be in the description box below. Let me say this, I will never be the first person to send you a message. I will never come into your DM and say, Ifa says I should tell you this. If I do not send me to you, I don't know you. I don't even care about you that much. So anybody that you receive a message from claiming to be representative of Iyanifa Ewa, you are an adult human being that has sense, so don't do it. I will never come to you. People that are even in my DM, I'm taking time to respond to them, let alone going into somebody's DM to say, hello, how are you doing? I'm not an evangelist. The Spirit of God did not tell me anything to come and tell you. So the only means of communication is the verified WhatsApp number. That is why that WhatsApp number is verified. That's the only means of communication that we have for Iyanifa and Ifa College, and it will be posted and pinned on your screen shortly. The website is ifacollege.ng. Every course and information that we need is on the website ifacollege.ng. 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 That is the website. Let's see, something is happening on TikTok. We don't know what's happening on TikTok. Let's see. So ifacollege.ng is the website.
All right, this is what I walk back in.
And we are able to, okay, and we're able to join us every Sunday. Sorry, I needed to sort something. You can join us every morning on this live streaming, 6 a.m. Nigerian time, and 5 a.m. on for those of you on the GMT, and 12 midnight for those of you on the EST. We will be here every morning like this. Tomorrow morning again. I think we have like 6 or 7 more episodes to the end of this season. This is season 3. So if you have missed a replay, you can go back to the previous videos that we have, replays. If you have missed any episode, just go and watch the replays. Break it down, watch it over and over again. It's good for you. Over and over again, you can watch it and get more information. Let's round off our live streaming today with our Iwuri. Oh yeah, everybody move here. We're about to make our Iwuri. Call everybody, call them. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ awo tó ń ṣe àṣẹ, we're about to make our Iwuri for today. I'm waiting for you guys. Oh. Akọ́dá ayé àṣèbà. Àṣèbà tí wáyé ọjọ́. Àṣèbà tí wọ̀ oòrùn. Elédùmarè ọba tẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ níṣẹ́ fàyà tí àṣèbà ọba tó lọ kọrin kése ọba lánàá ọba lẹ́yìn ọba títí ayérayé àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Kábíyèsí ọba lánàá kábíyín òsí ọba tí ń fọba jẹ àṣẹ̀dá àwẹ̀dá àmẹ̀dá àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣẹ o. Lórígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé níbi tá a ti ń ṣe ọ̀sẹ̀ èní lọ́sẹ̀ jàkúta ọ̀sẹ̀ ṣàngó ọ̀sẹ̀ ọya àníkọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà kọ́ má dá sí wa lára o. Ajagunmalé olúwo òdi ọ̀run àṣèbà olúbíkin ọ̀sán ìbíkin àṣèbà àṣèbà wọn tó tẹ̀ ká tó tẹ̀ àṣèbà wọn tó ṣáwó kù sẹ́yìn fún wa àṣèbà wọn tó ṣe fákù tó ní káwa máa ṣe àwọn tó dá wa lóṣù àwọn tó là wá lórí àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣe ọ̀. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ọ̀pàkẹ́ àlàkẹ́ ẹ̀yin alágogo idẹ ẹ̀yin arógbáṣọ má balẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ìyá mi olókìkí òru ẹ̀yin abiyamọ ayé abiyamọ ọ̀run àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣe ọ̀. Ajíbọ́lá mi ògbódò ọ̀rà mo ṣèbà Ajíbọ́lá ẹ̀dán mo ṣèbà ìyá mi àbẹ̀ní mo ṣèbà onílé mo ṣèbà tẹ́rẹ́ lútò ṣùgbó mo ṣèbà olúwo mo ṣèbà ìyá àbíyè àwọn apènà àwọn balógun àwọn lísà látòkè lókè láì dápapọ̀ sí àṣèbà aníkíbà wá ṣe ọ̀. Bá ṣe tún wá wọnú ẹ̀kọ́ mi ìlérí tá a ti kọ́ ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye tó wà nínú Ifá láṣẹ Èdùmàrè Ifá bá wa ṣe Elédùmarè á bá wa ṣe àwọn tó ṣàwò kù sẹ́yìn wọn á bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo ire gbogbo ọlá gbogbo ọlà tó wà lọ́nà ìrìn àjò wa nílé ayé a máa kó á dẹ̀ bá wa kalẹ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àní ṣubú dànù àní báráyé fọwọ́ tì ó gbogbo àdáwọ́lé wa kò ní já sásán àní ṣe lásán láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Lórí ibi mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé níbi gbogbo tá a ti ń gbọ́ mi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń wò mí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ire owó ire ọlá ire ajé ògúngún nísọ̀ onísọ̀ òbòdì á dúró tì wá á bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní kò sí bá a ṣe lè ṣe orí tí ọrùn ò ní mì láṣẹ Èdùmàrè gbogbo ibi tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó wọ́n ní fàlà tó rí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe Ifá bá wa tún orí wa ṣe láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Elédùmarè á bá wa tún orí wa ṣe láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ibi tó ní wá ń gbé wa lọ, ẹsẹ̀ wa ò ní ṣì wá lọ́nà lọ́lá àwọn tó nílẹ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo àdáwọ́lé wa báyìí ire ló máa já sí. Nígbà tá a ṣojú Ifá lẹ́yìn, a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn ọmọ wa, a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwa òbí, bá a ṣe ń tọ́mọ, bá a ṣe ń ṣọmọ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ìrìn tí àwọn ọmọ wa, ìrìn àjò táwọn ọmọ wa máa rìn nílé ayé, Elédùmarè á bá wa ṣe é nírọ̀rùn láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwa ní fojú sunkún àwọn ọmọ yẹn, àní mọ sàárè àwọn ọmọ wa o. Ẹrù tálábíàmọ yìí tú wọn ní gbé wá ká wa mọ́lé o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Níbi gbogbo táwọn ọmọ wa bá wà, ojú rere ló máa bá níbẹ̀, torí wọ́n ní ojú rere ló ní owó ń rí, ire lójú owó rí, ire làwọn ọmọ wa máa rí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àní ṣe lásán lórí àwọn ọmọ wa, àní ṣe lásán. Ìgbà tí iṣu ọmọ bá rù jiná láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, èmi àti yín a máa jẹ́ láṣẹ pé àjẹpẹ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kò wá ní gbóná jù fún wa, kò ní tutù jù lẹ́nu wa, kò ní kan lẹ́nu wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo ọ̀nà ibi tá a bá kọjú sí, Ògúnlákayé ọ̀ṣì ìmọ̀lẹ̀ á lànà fún wa, Ògún tó lànà fálára, tó lànà fájèrò, á lànà fẹ́mi àti láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní ọ̀nà kì í dímọ́ lọ́kọ́, ọ̀nà kì í dímọ́ ládà, ọ̀nà oríríjẹ ò ní dímọ́ wa, ọ̀nà eré ò ní dímọ́ wa, ọ̀nà ìlọsíwájú, ọ̀nà ìlera pípé kò ní dímọ́ wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àfẹ́káyé báyìí lọ látẹ́gùn fẹ́, àrànkáyé báyìí lọ ní òun ràn, ògo èmi àti yín á fẹ́ kárí ayé, á ràn kárí ayé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Kò sẹ́yìn kankan tó fi ọwọ́ bo ògo òrùn mọ́lẹ̀, ọmọ aráyé ò ní rògbò wa bò mọ́lẹ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní obìnrin bí kú, obìnrin bí àrùn, lórí ayé wa obì ti bí kú, obì ti bí àrùn láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo ọ̀nà ibi tá a bá lọ, ire àtayọ̀ báyìí òun la máa rí o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n ní àwíṣẹ ní ti Ifá, àfọ̀ṣẹ ní tọ̀rúnmìlà. Wọ́n ní èè àbá tí alágẹmọ bá dá lòrìṣà òkè nígbà, èmi àti yín tún ti dábàá lẹ́nu. Wọ́n ti bá wa fi àwíṣẹ sí, wọ́n ti fi àfọ̀ṣẹ sí, ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ó ti ṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Kífá ó bá ní ṣe, k'Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe, àwọn tó ṣàwò kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe. Kífá ó bá wa ṣe, k'Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe, àwọn tó ṣàwò kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe. Ifá bá wa ṣe o, Elédùmarè á bá wa ṣe, àwọn tó ṣàwò kù sẹ́yìn wọ́n á bá wa ṣe o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Thank you so much for joining another episode of Àṣẹ for today. We'll be live on this same channel tomorrow, 6 a.m. Nigerian time, 5 a.m. on the EST, and 12 midnight or 12 a.m. for those of you on the EST. If you are catching a replay, every information you need will be in the description box of this video. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. In every way, anywhere that's returned to Ire-la-ma-ma-rí o, láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Until tomorrow when I join you again, I remain your host, Chief Iyanifa Ewa, popularly known as Iyanifa Ewa. Títí ọ̀la, Ifá gbè wá, ìṣẹ̀ṣe á gbè wá, àwọn alálẹ̀ ilẹ̀ wọ́n á gbè wá láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. How do we? Okay. Yes.